Breasts.
It's amazing. Hello, everybody. I was saying, you know, it's funny. I ain't quitting YouTube, but it's times like these I get it. Like I'm thinking back to Repsion because it's like, why is this even a shit show? When it comes to talking about their patches in games, how there's multiple articles written about how it's a major problem. How many videos do you see from Digital Foundry, which is strange you saw the ads because I took the ads off. And who the fuck is Lance McDonald? Yeah, dude, it's this streamer Lance McDonald. I have no idea who he is, but he's an arrogant motherfucker. He's going back and forth with me on Twitter about his, like, this whole thing with not backwards compatibility. Jesus Christ. I'm not even stoned, at least as of yet, at all. But the whole thing started with talking about how there is a plague of patches that happen in games. And essentially, games, the main benefit to them, because most of them need patches to run optimally, is that you could trade them in. Besides that, in a lot of cases, They are not in an optimized state, and they are better off as a coaster. This is not shocking. And what happened with Does It Play is their thing is a game playable? Okay, without the patches, even if there's frame rate stability issues, someone put in an extreme example, they would not consider it playable, like if a game was running at 5 FPS. Of course, that's not playable. They've never said a game is playable at that point. But yeah, we're in the era of you're not getting completed games. I always bring up Resident Evil Revelations. There's been other times too where you go buy a physical game on the Switch, they just give you a download code, so you're driving to a store to get a box with nothing in it. So yeah, it's still going. And apparently this big Twitch streamer is not happy with me. I don't even know who he is, and he said that he's made I don't even know. I'll show it to you because it's incredible. I literally, and everyone's going on about the $2,000. Listen, here is the thing. Patches are a major problem in the industry. You could give exceptions all you want to. A game can be playable, but it is not ideal. It is not the way the developer intended. And a lot of times, even if it is playable, games run like shit. Here's a perfect example of a game. Well, From Software games, it's kind of known with them. Elden Ring still has issues on consoles. Try to get that game in performance mode to run at 60. Try with ray tracing on consoles to get it to run at a solid 30. So I think this guy Lance just kind of made himself look bad too. So look, man, if this is the hill I have to die on, and people are gonna be like, Rich, this is it, you have no credibility left, then my brand wasn't strong enough to begin with. So I'm not staying up till 6 a.m. West. Get lost. So anyway, let's we'll go to my timeline real quick. I don't know what Jay's doing. I guess he's not. I'm gonna change this.
Breasts.
Master Rambo donated $15. I'm still catching up on your last 2 streams. Did I miss anything important? Spam sounds, please.
I'll spam the sounds in a second. So this is the guy who, again, he's going into the whole thing of I quote tweet everybody. I just quote tweet whether it's positive or negative. Some of you here follow me on Twitter, you know, because it allows for more of a dialogue. 300 for 1 a.m. It's 7:25. I think that's fair. Man, there's a lot of people here already. I just changed it to DSP. So I don't know who... I'm not saying that to be pretentious. I don't know who this guy is. The pretentiousness is... It wasn't... He reciprocated it. I'm not doing 3 a.m. Wes. So let's see here. So this is what... First off, I already have an instant rebuttal for this. Publishers are trying to lie to us about digital gaming being the only viable future despite a well-documented and researched reality. I don't know how old you are, dude, but you know what always wins? Fine, 250 for 1 a.m. Boom, let's go. And you come out here bootlicking and simping for the future they're trying to see. This is what it's really about. This is what pisses me off, is that it's people that are physical fanboys, which I'm one of them. That's the strangest part. I'm one of them. I'm trying. They think I'm like trying to coerce people towards a digital future. I don't want that. Because I feel personally that saying that games like they're playable without the updates, and they are, but it's obviously not the ideal experience. And finish and you come out here, so that what he's basically saying is that the updates are ways for them to trick us into not buying physical games. But dude, I'm an old man. Let me tell you something. You know what always wins? It's not a PsyOps game. It's not PsyOps. Convenience always wins. Why do you think we went from records to cassettes? If anything,
breasts.
Cassettes... Yes, breasts. I'll get to that 1 second, and I'll get to all the super chats in 1 second. Oh, crap. I didn't realize I missed that many because I was on the wrong tab. Cassettes actually were a step back in audio quality depending on your turntable. But they were more convenient. CDs. And so the CDs actually were a benefit all around, but they were more convenient. You could skip the tracks, no problem. They tried to say they were durable. That's debatable. They're more durable than tapes, so there's that too. And then that happened. So mini disc. They even tried it with DAP because the recording industry. Mini disc, they tried to make the pricing of it. I'll talk about that in the video. Because it's more convenient to record on cassette or mini disc than cassette. What about iPod? Now you don't own shit. But why did people go over to it? Well, you do buy the songs, but you get my point. But as we see with my video yesterday, that don't mean too much. Because instead of having to switch out discs, now you have a billion songs in your pocket. I'm exaggerating, but you get my point. Then, that wasn't convenient enough. People went over to streaming music. Why? What do you have in your pocket all the time? Convenience always wins. Convenience always wins. Is the industry going to take advantage of digital distribution? Because it's convenient and fuck over the consumer? 100%. 100%. But don't make it like it's a... Don't make it like it's some psyops that's going on. It's human nature. People go for convenience. So you could will physical media all you want to. I bought this overpriced shit to prove a point. And that's what it is. So it's, and what are the numbers for, at least in the UK, for some reason in the States, it's more opaque, that over 90-something% of sales of games in the UK in 2022 were via digital distribution. And I hate to say it because I'm looking forward to this the least. So Lance can jerk off to himself all he wants to. I still use mini disc, man. You know why? Because songs disappear off of Spotify and fucking Apple Music all the time. I hate it. But that's the reality. And then to make it like the majority of games don't come out with updates. What are they making those updates for? Even if the game is playable before the update. I'm not talking it's broken, but even it's obviously not ideal. And what's going to happen in the future when you can't get those updates? So you could get me with a gotcha moment and me saying that bold shit about $2,000 all you want to, and you could show Super Mario RPG, which, quite frankly, is a remake of the game from the Super Nintendo. So, damn, you got me there. And I know there's other examples out there that people are going to bring up. But you put a disc in most cases, I would say 95% of cases, there's going to be an update, and it's there for a reason. They aren't making developers crunch to pump out an update because Bobby Kotick just wants to pay them overtime. He doesn't really do it anyway. So, there's my take on it. If Lance, I don't even know who the fuck you are. So if you think that I'm trying to clout chase off you when I don't know who the fuck you are, whatever. If you want to come on here and Does It Play is more than welcome too. We could have a discussion, but even Boogie had an update. That was pretty good. Even Boogie had an update. All right, listen. I'll do a reasonable goal. I'm not dressing up like full. I'm not staying up till 5 a.m. West. I'm not getting naked and smacking my ass cheeks. So, and the thing is, too, is that, look, it's fucking video games. It'll be a civil discussion. I got pissed off last night because it's like, really, man, you're like this. You have a following from a lot of people in the industry, and you're making it like I'm being disingenuous, and I'm not. That's what really got me triggered last night. You know? So. And that's it. It's that simple. To say that the industry isn't plagued with updates on your side is disingenuous. And look, man, you guys know, and if you say that I'm lying or if you say I'm coping, I hold my L's, man. I hold them. When I fuck up, I hold them. I would love to get him on. Let me see if I could DM him. You're streaming now. If you'd like to come. Am I doxing a whole bunch of people? Yeah, I am. Of course I am, because I'm an idiot. Yeah, this was an interesting watch, man. That was an interesting watch. There's a lot of people whose careers are done. Yes, we'll watch some other stuff, but let me go to the main screen for a bit. You work for Does It Play. You've cited my videos during the C-bomb incident. Let's have a discussion. Sure. Absolutely. You want to come on now is what you're saying? That's fine. Speaking of, remember the 1985 movie Cocoon? You can't buy it from any retailer nor stream it anywhere because Fox lost the licensing. Yeah, dude, it sucks. He said, yes, where is he? Are you on Twitter? Let's see, he may have messaged me. You just follow me, cool. Trying to see what's the name. I'm not seeing it. Why is it not saying? Usually notifies me. What is your name on there? I'll look you up and find you right away. Let me see. Your ex-wife sucks. Take my file. Isn't that fun? Ooh, that's a Hikamura Media. Okay. Again, 100% civil discussion. I'm not. This would be silly to have a pissing match over something like this. That's not how I roll. So let me find him. This guy is not Token Travis. I see him. I see him. There we go. Let me hit him up with a link. It's just going to be audio because I'm going to go through Zoom. And Zoom is still loading. Why is it? There we go. Just click on that. Link is sent to you now, sir. Yeah, dude. I promise you, it's not going to go. No shit. Life is too short to make shitstorms about video games. I rather save that energy for like Token Travis. And you know, it'll be interesting to see what he has to say, because in an industry where we know that what was the article that I cited last night from IGN, how they were talking about Spider-Man 2, how Insomniac recommended. Link is sent, by the way. I don't know. I think I said it. He's updating Zoom. And it'll be interesting. You know what, man? If he brings up a bunch of points that make me eat my words, that's fine. I'm not looking to have a pissing match, you know? You broke up with your boyfriend because of a game. That does not sound healthy. And that's cool. Maybe I'll learn something. I'll have the humility to sit back and you know. No, I don't think he's bullshitting and trolling. Let me check again. Watch. No, I could tell he's not. He's not. 100% he's not. So he's updating Zoom, he said. Nah, he's the... Shared a... Nah, you're good, dude. I believe you. I believe you. You're fine. I appreciate you sending... I appreciate your setting that there's an update. My editor and I deal with, because I should be doing this. Speaking of physical media, I should be doing this. Yeah, it's like, what... And I will put on my humility cap, and if I have to eat my words, then I will eat my words. I'll post this on my main YouTube channel. He may come at me with facts that I didn't know, and I'll be like, I got bodied by Does It Play? It's just, there's two people in the waiting room. Who are these two people? There's two of the same man. I'm going to pick one. I'm going to pick a man. There's 2 Miles. Let's see. He's joining. Let's see. It says he's connecting audio. Why is there another one in the waiting room? Hello, sir. How are you? Can you hear me?
Hello? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey!
There's another one of you in the waiting room.
It's because whenever I launched Zoom, it went into a whole update thing, so...
Okay. I was like, oh no, what's going on? Is like someone pretending to be Miles and coming on?
Oh, no. This is me. I'm Hikikomori Media. I'm Miles. We've kind of interacted like once or twice, like way back in the day. I made a whole series of videos like when the PlayStation 3 shop, the eShop, was closing down, and I came across the C-bomb information, and Does It Play, they kind of got in contact with me, and kind of with all of our collective information and tests, we discovered how prevalent the C-bomb was, not only on the PS3 but the PlayStation 4 and the PS5. So it's been something that I've been researching and testing and making videos on for some time. And it's been cited by you and other big YouTubers and all that. So if you want to look at my credentials, you can. I got a YouTube channel, so check me out. I'm just happy to talk to you. Thanks for having me.
No, I appreciate having you on. Because if there's something that I'm missing, I'm always willing to learn. And one thing you have to do here is put your ego to the side and learn things and become humble and understand them. So
Absolutely.
When you say, what are the standards that you use when you deem that a game is playable? I'm curious, so I understand it.
So, ironically enough, I am kind of doing a follow-up video on the PlayStation 3, and it is kind of in a dire circumstance when it comes to digital content. Essentially, Sony has not patched out the CBOM on the PlayStation 3, meaning that
great.
If they take down those servers, the authentication servers, you could lose your license if your CMOS battery dies and it can't connect to their NTP servers to then validate the credentials. So yeah, we are, sitting on a bomb. There is a preservation crisis going on, and you're not wrong for thinking so. I mean, that is kind of the stated purpose of Does It Play, is they are asking that question and they are addressing the many known cases of unplayable games on day one. Now, when it comes to is a game playable or what the standard is, usually we just go by, offline, no telemetry involved at all. So when I pop in a disc that I buy off the store shelf or pop in a cartridge, we test to make sure that you can play through the game without errors, or at least, we give some grace to some errors. I mean, that's a given. It's as far back as the NES. There are some known glitches that, you can bypass and it doesn't lock you out of the rest of the content. So we're not like completely sticklers in that it can't have any errors. It's does it play? Does it have all the content from you to get to the start of the game to the end of the game? If it has a multiplayer component, if that gets rooted out on down the road, is there still some worthy content on that disc to play? And it's just a case by case basis. And I know that it sounds like they're painting with a broad brush, that they may be attacking nothing but Microsoft. But once again, you have to keep in mind that they've also criticized Sony. Like, they've pointed out the CBOM. Sony did make some changes based on the work that they've done in the friction that's kind of come through these conversations. And I know you're talking with Lance McDonald. Lance is an OG. He understands the hardware down to the timings, and he's probably most famous for creating the 60 frames patch for Bloodborne on the PS4, doing the work that Sony wasn't doing. So he can kind of come off as a bit condescending, but I think that's because he's Australian. He's generally a funny dude, and with the realm of X or Twitter, a lot of that nuance gets lost there.
Yeah, he was like, "I'll give you can't pay enough for me to come on here." I'm like, "Oh, well, that's awfully dickish of you to say, but okay."
I owe a lot of his research and information like that. He was one of the discoverers of the CBOM on both the PS3 and PS4. So yeah, I think he's probably in the same camp as we are. Like, I'm a millennial. I think Lance is as well. So we've kind of grown through the generations of video games where we have that kind of expectation that when we bought a game back in the day and we popped it in, we didn't have to have that update. And yeah,
I was in that generation too, 100%.
Yeah, you were. So it's I think we are coming from that background, and we have that kind of expectation laid out as well. But I think if you read Does It Play in their tweets and you go to their website, I believe it's doesitplay.org, they have a whole database where you can look game by game, and they have like contributors, like that Super Mario RPG example we threw out. Guess who tested that? Yours truly. I tested the Switch 1.0 version of Super Mario RPG. And in combination with other channels like Digital Foundry, they also had like the Japanese copy of it, and they tested it out and noted some lag here and there in the cutscenes. But in terms of, is that game playable from beginning to end? Yes, you can beat that game. It's 100% completable without any updates. Now, will there be an update down the road to smooth things out? Yes, that's a granted thing. I mean, developers, I know what you're saying.
I guess that's the angle
yeah.
where I'm coming from. So
Yeah.
in the future, when like say you buy the original Spider-Man 2, which I was just saying that Insomniac, I believe that's a developer. If I'm saying the wrong developer, my apologies. They were saying you really need this update. So if you got the disc that's printed now, say Sony in the future is no more, and they've already sold millions of copies of that 1.1 or 1.0 version.
Right.
What
or
are you going to
Cyberpunk.
do?
Cyberpunk.
Oh God, Cyberpunk's a perfect
shitty.
example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I completely understand that, like, there's a sentiment of cynicism that is prevalent throughout physical media. And it's not just limited to video games, but I feel out of all the different pieces of media, video games are most at risk until, you know, there's a proper emulator and 100% compatibility with no glitches, yada, yada, yada. I mean, like the PS3 right now, I want to say there's about 60% of games that are playable from beginning to end. But what about, you know, the other 40% that we're missing here that just have some issues? So in that case, the best way to preserve that PS3 experience is to have a disc equivalent of that game. So when Does It Play, you know, puts out all this stuff, they put out their tweets, and yeah, they do browbeat some of these developers for not putting the full game on the disc. They're not thinking in terms of today or next week. They're thinking in terms of decades, because this is something we're facing PS3 as our example, or the Xbox 360. Now, I know a lot of people trash on Kinect games, rightfully so. Kinect is not an emulatable experience. Like, if you want to play those Kinect games that were released digital only, like Diabolical Pitch by Suda51. He's the guy who made No More Heroes. Like, if you want that experience, you have to have an Xbox 360 and have downloaded that game. Once that game gets delisted, you're kind of shit out of luck unless you like get a mod chip for your 360 and find some Russian website to download an ISO of that. Now, that experience is just kind of a larger cautionary tale of preservation within the industry itself. Like, we are giving, and this is from my own opinion here, but I feel like we are giving the industry a lot of pass here, because, you know, they preserve some of the AAA games, right? Like Microsoft. A lot of people came out and praised them for their backwards compatibility, in quotes, right? It's not true backwards compatibility, because you can't just pop the disc in like a 360 game in. No, you have to connect to their servers.
It's emulation. It's kind of like almost like they have a per diem emulator for each game. And kind of what they're doing.
Okay, this is what turned me off. I was the biggest stan for the Xbox Series X. I went out and bought one over a PS5. I was so happy because they had emulators on it. Like, for the longest time in retail mode, that's when you just turn on the system, not entering into a separate dev mode. We're talking about just straight off the shelf Series X. I installed emulators. I had RetroArch on there. And more recently, I had Zinnia, which is the Xbox 360 emulator. There's a big gap in the 360 library and 7th generation. So we're talking about PS3 and 360 of titles that were not ported to anything else, not ported to PC, not ported to Series X or PS5, just trapped on that system. So when I could play, like, you know, let's say Sonic 2006, one of the worst examples. But that
like, game is fucking brutal.
It's so bad. But Sega is not re-releasing it. Of course, they're sweeping that under the rug. But I had the ability to rip my own copy and throw it on a USB drive and play it on an emulator. But Microsoft, they removed all those retail emulators. They want control of the marketplace. And I feel that's kind of the secret, you know, ulterior motive here, is they want to limit the places where you can buy games. It's not like there's a good old games equivalent for console games, okay? We can't, you know, choose between all these different marketplaces, digital marketplaces. We got to go through PSN. We got to go through the Microsoft Store or the eShop. You know, there's not a third-party Humble Bundle equivalent here. The only other way we have control over our purchases is through brick and mortar retail stores. We're talking about GameStop. And yeah, trust me, as much as, all these big companies are partnering up with GameStop, they want them to go to the way of the dodo more than anyone else. They
Oh,
want yeah.
absolutely. I will push back to a degree though, because
Sure.
as history has proven, it's also, yes, I am 100% with you. It can be both, that the companies want that. They want to have full control, of their games.
Yeah.
They want to have full control of where you buy them. That's why I forgot Sony's getting sued, I think maybe by the UK, for a huge amount of money because
Yeah.
of the stranglehold they have on their games. It's also been proven throughout history, whether it sucks or not, that human beings always go towards what's the most convenient. We were just
That's
talking
a
about
sad
audio
truth.
formats.
I will concede that point 100%. And I've encountered that too, just because and I gotta say, you gotta take your data where it comes. Usually from Twitter, you're getting the vocal minorities on both sides screaming at you. We are definitely in the camp of physical media as preservation. Myself, speaking for myself, I'm not opposed to other alternatives like emulation or what have you, but the industry has no right to complain. They have no right to complain when people start doing things like piracy or mod chips or what have you, whenever they've provided no competition within that same market. Like when there's no secondhand market, the prices are going to be fucking sky high. And that's not just true or limited to the video game market. That is any market. And so when
So I know we're
yeah.
kind of having a conversation here,
Yeah.
but it's interesting as hell. So what? So say we go to get to the point where physical games are not, because what store is getting rid of physical? I believe Walmart's getting rid of at least Xbox games. I think they said.
That's possible. If you're going by like worthless discs that you can buy off the shelf, then yes, Microsoft games for sure, because most of the time those are just what we call stubs. Stubs are just like essentially a program phone call to their servers. Like I believe it was Halo Infinite in one of the Forza
Jesus.
games. It was just like 240 megabytes of data, and then you had to download the rest of it. So in that case, yes, you are right, that is a worthless disk to the average consumer. All it does is make a phone call, and once it can't receive that on the other end, then yeah, they got a paperweight. But the other part of the argument is reprints, and that's also what Does It Play points out. Like Horizon just got a brand new like Game of the Year edition, all the content on the disc. And once that happens, we come and it's probably got all the patches, it's got all the DLC and stuff. We test that out and make sure that, it's not like, okay, it has like 75% of the Game of the Year content, and then you have to download the other 25%. Does It Play is kind of pushing for that as well. Like, yeah, we kind of understand how the nature of the business is. Like sometimes the full experience, like Final Fantasy 15 or Cyberpunk or something like that, there's an initial build, shit goes wrong, and then they correct that. Well, after that correction's made, there's got to be some physical representation to preserve it in its best state possible. Because like me, I'm kind of like a Johnny come lately when it comes to a lot of modern games. I kind of wait it out just to make sure that, all the content comes out. What are people saying? And if they're going to release a Game of the Year edition, I'd rather get that version. Options are, what they're arguing for, really.
And yeah, and they're trying to take those away, and human nature is helping them do that. Now this is another interesting thing that people brought up to me. The SSDs inside of the 9th gen consoles, are those
Right.
going to be ticking time bombs as well?
In regards to the PlayStation 5, I believe it's the first wave of them. They have a soldered on SSD, and that's where your primary OS is stored. And I think it may be like liquid metal solder on there. I only took apart my PS5 once, and I was looking for the CMOS battery, so forgive me if I'm misremembering things. But yeah, I believe that may be the case with the PS5. Could be the case with the Series X, haven't taken apart. And that is a big preservation problem. Also, the whole drive pairing thing. I was kind of confused on the details on that, but yeah, they're saying that the reason why you have to pair that new PlayStation 5 external drive has to do more with like copyright, which is I think the basis for part of that lawsuit in the UK. So yeah, that is something we should also look out for is like hardware preservation, the right to repair, the right to modify and upgrade. Like, I just bought a Steam Deck and it's almost liberating how much agency Valve gives over their hardware.
Yeah, you could get a bunch of the parts from iFixit for that, no problem.
Yeah, you can get the parts. You can put in whatever SD and M2 drive. You can even down to like the user interface. It's like a Linux-based system. You can just swap out the intro video and the sound set. It's almost, pushing me to kind of become a PC gamer because of how dire it's gotten in the console space. So okay, let's go back to the main idea here though. You had made a bet with Does It Play saying that if you can't get a copy of the game off the shelf, almost you said 95% of games are unplayable off the shelf.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
Essentially that you are not getting the full game. You're getting something where it's going to have a huge patch, and in the future, when those huge patches aren't there, you're not going to have the game the way the developer intended.
Right. Now, is that like also including like, say it gets something like 50 megabyte patch and it addresses something like a missing texture? Would you consider that an incomplete game?
No.
No? Okay. So like, just little bugs here and there. I think by their criteria, if you can still play a game from beginning to end and there's no major game-breaking bugs, we're talking about stuff like a soft lock, like wherever you enter into this, you're playing an RPG, you enter into this part and an NPC is supposed to take this item, but that dialogue just never happens, and then you cannot progress forward. That's a serious consideration. Now, that stuff also happened in our generation, Rich, like on the PlayStation 1 or on those kind of RPGs and stuff. There would be like a game facts post warning the player like, hey,
yeah, but games back then were substantially it was not as common of a thing where games would come not necessarily broken but very buggy off the shelf. There were obviously a lot less time to develop, but
my friend, can I introduce you to a game called Daikatana? John Romero's going to make you his bitch. Okay.
No. Well, Daikatana, Jesus Christ, that's notorious. Yes.
Right. I mean, like, there are some extreme examples, but I would concede that modern day games, they're all over the place, and it's very hard. And I want to say, like, it's hard to parse what you're getting off the shelf, and that is where the confusion is coming from, and I think that's where a lot of the cynicism is rooted in, that it's a matter of like, I don't know what I'm getting, and then if you got an Xbox One game sitting next to you and you could pick it up and you can look at the back of it and there's all this fine print and there's all these like little warning labels like may require an internet connection. Like I have a few of those Xbox games that just have that on the front, like Evil Dead the game. You can't even go past the main menu, and it has like a single player campaign. Like there are single player campaigns in Evil Dead the game. You have no access to it, and that game, by the way, is not getting any more content come next year, and who knows how long those servers will stay up. And if that will become a coaster, it's fucked.
Wow. It's that bad, huh?
Yeah, and as I said, it sounds like, okay, I've been with Does It Play like as kind of like a contributing reporter, let's say, for a couple of years now, and I've seen, like, yes, they've been hammering on Microsoft in particular, but Microsoft are kind of the biggest offenders in the console space at the moment. One of the things is there's like this cross-generational shit that's happening. You might have noticed it, like with the PS4 copies, like it'll come with a free PS5 upgrade, right? Well, the Xbox One has what they call a smart delivery system, which is essentially like a Trojan horse kind of situation, right? You think you're buying an Xbox Series X game, but what you're really getting is an Xbox One game on the disc. Now, I've tested this myself, like with some of the Yakuza games. You can pop it in the Xbox One and you can play it from beginning to end. So, in a sense, that Xbox One version completely preserved. But if you want to play like the Series X version of it, like Yakuza Like a Dragon, you have to download like 65 gigs or something to get a playable build. So yeah, that is a big problem. But it's also kind of in this weird limbo because technically the game is preserved on Xbox One. You can play it on that system, but not the Series X build of that.
This
So
that you know who's Digital Foundry actually said that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember it was a while back they were talking about that.
Yeah.
Where it was it was an Xbox One game, and once you put it in the Series console, well, you couldn't put it in a Series S, but once you put it in the Series X, it would then download to make it the Series version of the game.
Right. And here's another weird thing that happens with Xbox. So I did a whole video series on just testing all, like, you know, the Xbox Series X plays what? Xbox original 360, One, One X, and Series X games, right? And I was trying to find if there was just a Series X exclusive game. And in my research, I'd only found that you know that game Judgment. It's like a Yakuza spinoff. That was it. That was all I found. You could pop it in the Series X and play from beginning to end, which I did offline, and it was fine. But you couldn't put it in the Xbox One. So these developers and publishers are trying to like have their cake and eat it too. They got a foot in two generations essentially. Like they want to still, like, you know, there's a million people, billions of people, not billions, but millions and millions of people with a PS4 and Xbox One, you know, with a working disk drive. So if they can put the shittier version on the disc and sell that and then promise the people who have the next gen, like, okay, you'll get it as an update, then they think they've made everyone happy versus printing two separate discs, two separate versions. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. But when you get these games, though, like how many of them, at least from what I've noticed, it's almost all of them. How many of them have updates? Like, do you have a percentage?
Okay, I don't have any like hard data, but I can kind of spitball here. I will say that a vast majority do get kind of like day one bug fixes. But I wouldn't say that a large majority of them have like substantial, like Dead Rising 3 that had like 200 gigabytes or something like that. I would say like when it comes to like cottage kind of like limited run games and stuff like that, you're guaranteed to get like the full game on there, right? When it comes to like AAA publishers.
Yeah, but those are like smaller games, and occasionally they'll have like a PS4 game or something like that. But those aren't like major. I mean, and I'm even thinking too. So say because I get my games digitally because it's just I at this point you feel like
you don't want to swap out the disc. I got you.
Not even swap out the disc. It's just that digital. It's kind of like dead because you have to download patches anyway. Even when I download a game digitally, if it's a new game, a few days later, like Lords of the Fallen, god awful game, but they're updating that all the time. What happens in the future if you bought that on the disc day one and it's an awful build, and Sony or Microsoft is no longer there and you can't get those patches? That's what I was talking about.
I mean, like that's what. Once again, we all acknowledge this is the main conceit here. We are trying to explore and investigate that because there's really no honesty in advertisement. You know, you could go into GameStop and ask like, hey, I don't like, you know, I say I'm in Appalachia and there's a fucking GameStop in the middle of a meth hauler, right? And I go in there and I say, well, I don't have good internet connection. I'm still working with DSL, or, you know, like maybe you live somewhere that just doesn't have internet coverage.
I have people in my audience that are on DSL, so that's a thing.
Right. Like you could go up to the GameStop employee and they're not going to be able to tell you if it's going to play or not offline. And I think what Does It Play is doing, they're doing essentially a charity here. They've got all these different members. They got a Discord. Does It Play does. You can find it on their Twitter, their X, where all these different community members, we crowdsource together and we just unplug our LAN connection, or we unplug it and we see it. And I would say that you'd be surprised that a large majority are at least playable from beginning to end. But as I said, there are caveats, and that's what we get into the detail on the database. So I know they can be a little catty back and forth, and Lance can come in with his jabs and stuff like that. But speaking as me, like,
no, I'll be civil to him. I'm not going to make it. He says he'll come on. I'm not going to make it into a shit show.
Right.
And plus, honestly, I had no idea I wasn't saying that to be condescending to him. So if you're watching this, Lance, I had no fucking idea who he was. And then now I'm finding out because I'm waiting to play Bloodborne, and my audience can back me up.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to play Bloodborne until it's 60 FPS officially. And here's the guy.
He's made them both. I think he's got one for the PS4, and then I believe Illusion adapted that, and now it's also 60 frames on the PS5. But as I said, you might have to have some custom situations going on with that homebrew to catch my drift. But
so the bottom here is the thing. At the end of the day,
right,
I overinflated the problem, but it's still a problem, and I acted like a Neanderthal.
Right.
So here is, I will actually support Does It Play, and I will become a Patreon member because I do think what you do is good. It's not, I kind of went on the defensive because I wasn't, at least purposely anyway, trying to be disingenuous.
Right.
You guys help. What's up?
Like, I only saw the clips on Twitter. Like, they had pulled a clip from your stream. I've watched your streams before, but I just caught this one late. But you did say you'd pay him $2,000 if they could prove it to you. And I can prove it to you now. If you want me to turn on my cam, I've got a Nintendo Switch, OLED, latest firmware, on the system itself. But the game itself, I'll do a fresh install for you, 1.0 version of Super Mario RPG, and I can show you it's completely playable.
Yeah, I talked about that on. Yeah. So
I don't want the 2K. Chat, I do not want the 2K. This is not for me. I don't have a dog in this fight, other than I love Does It Play. I think they do good work, and I think we need more people in the community realizing that there are tons of playable games. You can go on doesitplay.org. There's a database right there. You type in a game, and you'll get some experiments, like tests, that people in the community have done to tell you if you're getting the full game, because a lot of you are getting ripped off. Rich is right. You are getting ripped off in some cases, but not all.
Yeah, but there's still a majority of cases where you're getting screwed over, and the developers, or not the developers, that's wrong. I hate saying the developers because usually it's not the developers, it's the publishers that are pushing the game.
Right. And okay, I mean, it depends on the platform. I mean, the video games are such a broad spectrum nowadays. A lot of different platforms you could be playing it on. But if you want to get into the specifics, if you want to see the data, the cold hard facts, go to doesitplay.org, type in the game. It sucks that, you got to do a little homework before you buy a game, but buying a game's a fucking investment nowadays. So, you're paying upwards of $70. Don't you want to know it's going to work? That's kind of on you too, not to blame the consumer. It's not the consumer's fault, but you got to know they're tricking you. There's a lot of snake oil. Look it up.
What do you mean snake oil? What do you mean by that?
Okay. Deceptive marketing is probably what I would say. Especially in terms of Microsoft games and hard copies of Series X games. The whole smart delivery thing is probably the biggest red flag. And they are kind of signaling that they do want more people to forget that retail exists, forget that hard copies exist. They want GameStop dead. They don't want you to be able to share your games. It's that I have that genuine fear. And I'm a big Xbox fan, by the way. Have every single console since day one.
Well, admittedly, too, GameStop is also doing a hell of a job themselves of destroying themselves. So let's not, you know what I mean? Like,
former employee here, man on the inside. I can definitely agree with that. But I also think there is a place for retail. And I think that a lot of, as you said, developers would back you up on this. The developers don't want this shit happening to their games. They want the best possible version of their games in their players' hands. And if you get something like Cyberpunk 1.0 on disc into the hands of a gamer that didn't have an internet connection, that
Yeah.
does leave a soured impression. And I think, as I said, this is what Does It Play does. They hold them to task. And if it comes off as smarmy or passive aggressive, then good. That's like the least amount of damage you can do. Like if it's a David and Goliath situation and their one little stone causes some change, then yes, we need that more now than ever. And we got to fix the PS3 C-bomb. I just want to put that out there. The PS3 is at risk at the moment.
So wait, but all right, maybe I'm mishearing or I forgot to see. I know you mentioned it earlier
Yeah,
too.
go
So
ahead.
they didn't fix the PS3 C-bomb yet.
No. And here's the thing too.
Weren't there articles going around saying that it was, or am I going crazy?
Okay, so this is where the confusion comes in. So the reason I made my whole video on the C-bomb was because I noticed that the PlayStation Store was closing on the PS3. Now, what not a lot of people know is there are tons of exclusive digital-only PS3 games. You can't buy them anywhere else, and if you were to buy them on disc, you'd have to get like an Asian, English, Chinese version for $600. I'm not kidding. There's a game called Rain that's fucking $600 on the disc, but it was digital for like $5 over here. Anyway, right now, I had tried to play one of my digital games on my PS3 that had a dead CMOS battery. It's just something that I like, I've got like 3 different PS3s because I bought them as they came out. And so I tried one, my old one that had a dead CMOS, and it wasn't connected to the internet. I could not load any of my digital content whatsoever. And so the moment I connected it to the internet, suddenly everything unlocked. And that raised a red flag. I looked up the error code and I had found out that Does It Play had documented it. And Lance McDonald had tweeted about it at one time. So I decided to, test things further. And so I made a video saying like, hey, if the PlayStation Store closes and, your CMOS battery dies, you lose access to this content and you won't be able to re-download it, legitimately or buy it. You're just going to have to hack your PS3 or play the disc essentially.
Look what happened with the DSi and I believe it was the Wii. Okay, the stores are shut down. Obviously,
the Wii U, the 3DS. Yeah,
you couldn't even the games you purchased. There was like 4 months on the DSi and I believe the Wii that you couldn't even get the games that you purchased. Obviously, the stores are long gone.
Right.
Fine, but there was some, and Nintendo was just like, we're working on it, and finally they got around to it, and that to me is just flat out wrong.
Rich, I have some wonderful news for you here. Okay, in regards to the 3DS and the Wii U, our man Gerard the Completionist has completely backed up both of those stores. So
that's an interesting name to say now.
If you want a good copy of any digital 3DS or Wii U game, just give a call up to Gerard. I'm sure he's not busy right now. You can get
oh God. So listen, here is the reason why I wanted to have you on too, is that I like having dialogue. I think you actually said it before. Whereas on Twitter, it's instinctual to go into pissing match mode. Right. I think maybe not for everybody, but whereas when you come on, there is a more nuanced and context dialogue.
Right.
Yes, there is a problem where AAA games have big patches in it, and I don't agree that they should be released that way.
Right.
But on my end, where I derped, was I made the severity of them more than it was in terms of how playable they make the games.
Right.
Is it still a major problem? Yes.
And you can fix this problem easy. Just donate that $2,000 and it's all clear conscience and everyone's happy. And you know what? That's going to help their database, and that's definitely going to be good data in the future whenever you can't play these fucking games anymore. And we'll say, hey, here's the ones you can.
Okay. Where do I donate it to?
All right. So I would say the best place is Does It Play's Patreon. It's linked in their profile. So it's patreon.com/doesitplay. And honestly, dude, that is so nice of you. And I'm happy that it worked out this way, because this is probably the most productive dialogue that any big platforms had in a while about these issues. They're often kind of like flavor of the week shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's often too late to talk about. Like, whenever they were pulling the PS3 store or the Xbox like backwards compatibility or always online shit. Like, often it's too late before we talk about this. So it's actually good that this happened, honestly.
Yeah, it is good that it happened. And no, it's all good, man. It's not. I'm not. If people are thinking, no, I'm not salty about it, guys. It's all good.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I'll throw them some money too. I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'll chip in.
All right. Okay, cool. All right, so I'll get the link now. That's your page. So let me go to Does It Play? Play. And Patreon or doesitplay.org?
Patreon.com/doesitplay. And you can just throw whatever you feel's fair at them.
Okay. All right, I'll do it right now, man. And thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me. And, I really appreciate, way back in the day, I don't know if you know this, but you did something that not a lot of bigger content creators do. You linked me. You said my name correctly. And, out of all the people that talked about the C-bomb stuff, I definitely remember when you shouted me out. I'll never forget. Thanks, Rich.
Yeah, well, you got to. It's funny. I'll let you go with this, but we were watching the Hbomberguy thing, and I think it's fair to cite sources. It should just be human second nature. I would even put the articles that I cite I used to do it all the time in the description, but then the YouTube's bot goes through the articles, and even if it's a legit article, someone links a porn site in the comments section there, you're responsible for it. That's a true story.
Jeez.
I got a strike from that. Have a good night. I appreciate you coming on, and it's nice to have a dialogue instead of having a shit show.
Right
it's
on,
nice
man.
once in a while. It's refreshing. Have a great night, Miles,
Take
and
care of yourself.
I'll be happy to donate. Have a good one.
Later.
Bye. Look, he's right enough that you gotta pay it. You gotta pay it, dude. It is what it is. I ran my mouth. You talk shit, you get hit. It's not that big a deal, dude. You know what I mean? So, yes, Wes, I am. So let's see. I'll show it on stream too, not because I'm looking to jerk myself off. It's because I don't want anyone to say that I didn't do it. Wait, did I shut down my Patreon? It doesn't matter. I'll get it set up now. Yeah, I'm not logged. I'll have to make one real quick, and I'll do it right. I'll put the chat over here and talk to you guys while I do it. Yeah, you know what? He didn't know what to expect from me either. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'll donate to Gerard because I know that it'll go to a good place. Ha ha! So, but here is the thing. I ran my mouth. It is what it is. What's worse? Saying that you're going to do something and not do it? Or following through? You didn't think that it's for because that whoever clipped me. Of course they were going to clip me doing that. Welcome to the internet. It's the internet. They're going to clip you. No. I got to update my password. Joy. Okay. And again, I'll do it right now. Cuz you know what'll happen too? Then I'll forget. And then everyone will be like, "Oh, look, you didn't do it yet." Nope, I'd rather do it right now. And I'm doing it on screen again, not to have everyone circle jerk me. It's because I want to show that it's done, so there's no conspiracies. You can't see this, right? No, you can't. Okay. All right. Wait, is this also caps? Yes. I know the guy is legit too, because the other guy, Lance, knows him, so it's not a troll. I just want to say that trust me, I've thought of that. It's not bending the knee though, man. Here is the thing. It's weird because that is a problem. Every game you put in, it's not just small updates. But if they're telling me that the majority of games are playable, I said the exact opposite. So, and the thing is, why is it not letting me? There we go. There we go. Oh, my account was deactivated. That's great. God damn it. I'll make it. I gotta make an account. There is nuance to be had. But can we give a reality? The guy's a nice guy, and I'm doing it because I want to keep my word. It is what it is, and there you go. It's that simple. I'm good, man. You know what I mean? I know, no, there were screenshots and stuff. You could play. I've learned this, though. If I'm going to run my mouth like that, I need to be more specific. I still agree with my take. It's weird to say. Do you understand what I mean? I don't think I'm wrong. But it should have been in a better light. Is that the best way to say it? Anyway, let me... Alright, so I guess... Alright, so I did have an account through... They're called Does It Play. Alright, so I should be a Does... Let me make sure I'm giving the money. I'll give it to like some random guy who's like just putting a butt plug up his ass. No, I want to give a specific amount. No, it's only... Where's the... Is there an about, maybe? Maybe it's on their Does It Play page? Where did he say it was? Because your Patreon, you can only do monthly. Here, I'll show you guys the page. I'll switch back, and so you don't think I'm going nuts. So you can, or maybe you could show me where to go. Where is the live stream? You could do a custom monthly amount. Okay. There you go. Join. No, you can't. Well, let's see. Let me just make sure it's not going to show anything. I don't care about the email. You see the email. No, it's just telling me I got a membership. Come on, I want to do this now so people don't think I'm trying to swindle them. Does anybody know if I'm missing something? I'm trying. I said I would give them the money. Let me go back to the Does It Play Twitter. Just to make sure I'm not missing anything. I went to doesitplay.org. I went to... Who's messaging me now? They'll DM you soon. Okay. Sub for a month and then cancel would work. Membership. Okay. Home. Membership. And how the hell do you cancel it? No, there's no pledge amount. They said that, but if I cancel it, I could give them money. Rather just do it that way. It's one and done. How the hell do you cancel your membership? Do I have to do that off screen? Oh, you don't see the page. Shit. I haven't used Patreon in a long... I haven't... So here it is. I'm a member. Someone says if you unmember yourself, you could give money. But it's... What the fuck is that? Ah, here we go. No, yeah, that doesn't work. Click upgrade. Okay. Make a custom pledge. Here we go. Holla fucking Luya. Just in case I don't want it to show anything personal, but when it's done, the receipt is there. I'll show you. Total due. Okay, continue with PayPal. But wait a second. Today is the 3rd. Here, I'll show that I pledged it to him. Can I show pledges? I don't know why this is so fucking... That 2K could have gone to Phil. Yeah, no, thank you. Does it show your custom pledges? I did it. Recent. Settings. Does it play? Membership. I don't know. What a... I did it. Let me look at PayPal again. Oh, man. I don't know what happened. It said make a custom pledge. I put in 2,000. I don't know why it won't show it anywhere. Is there a place I could show it on here? I look in PayPal, it's not there, so that's going to prove nothing. Payment sent. Let's see. Please show something. Nope. Miles is saying, check my emails. What email would it be connected to? I have to think. Yes, there we go. No, that's not showing anything. There it is. I think. No. Yeah. So, here. Well, I'm not paying $2,000 on each month, but on the 4th of each month, today's the 3rd, you'll pay $2,000. There you go. So, I'm guessing tomorrow the money will be taken out? I have no idea. Listen, Rich, just give me 2,000. So they're getting it. It is what it is. I mean, look, I think I still have valid arguments, but it'll just be a lost cause. There's valid arguments on both sides, and I made a black and white statement. So, give you 2,000. You paid them before you paid Big Cheese. So let me read the super chats, and we'll get back to a normal stream. Look, it is what it is, man. I hustle, I do my thing, and in the end, you hold up to your end, and you go from there. You move on. Lessons learned. So Master Rambo, thank you for the membership. I mean, the whole thing, like the other guy said, that Lance dude, that it's like psyops, that's a small portion of it. It's that people are lazy. Human beings are lazy, including all of us, most of us, all of us. And the most convenient thing wins. It's like I was saying before he came on. So just give you my, yeah. The account is hacked as someone who's been gaming. No, I didn't lose my cool. So Hikimura Media is the one who came on. Yeah, try to play the GTA. Look, I know there are examples, but there's plenty of examples. But it is what it is, and I made a broad statement. You can't do what I do and be a public figure and make a broad statement like that and not be held to task. You know. The meat is done now? No, I can't stream the GTA 6 trailer. I don't have... Do I have the snort still? I think I got rid of the snort. I've replaced it with this.
I'd like to belch directly in your face right now.
So, I'm a physical fanboy. I have over 4,000 games, but people are arguing with you or saying this... You saying the sky is blue. Yeah, I kind of agree. I'm not really going to bat... Like, all of the games have updates because they're not released in a state that the developers think is ideal. I don't know any way. Response to Muda. What happened? What's going on now? With patches can add content or fix bugs in most cases. Okay. Then someone wrote this. What is your definition of Rich did put his foot in his mouth with phrasing, but the greater point of shit ton of patches in games are a disgrace? This is my point. Back to it. He's saying the same thing I would have said to Mudahar. Go watch any Digital Foundry video and many high-profile AAA releases, especially this year. Especially this year. Even before this year. And this is a Game Blather where they revisit and there are huge improvements in frame pacing. Right, this is what I'm saying. These optimizations should have been made prior to release. Hallelujah, someone's saying it. With $200 million budgets. I love this guy. Who is he? And dozens of devs of the project. This is not me wearing rose-tinted glasses. There were other problems with games in previous generations, but there is clearly a valid concern with these patches and the fact that most digital stores you do not have the same ownership over as physical games, which that is also true. Okay, that is a huge advantage to physical. I could sell it. I could trade it. I could use it as a Frisbee if I want to. That is still the key. Once that goes away, which I bet you they'll try. I see that he's in the chat. I just answered him before. So that's the problem. I just answered you guys. I see that Lance is here. Of course. Okay, Lance. Sure. Yeah, I'll send you a link. Let me go to Twitter. All right, so I sent him the link. All right, he's getting Zoom now. He said, bear with him. This is a strange evening. Hi, everybody. Oh, this is a strange evening. You know what the problem really is that there's valid points. And this is not me pulling a Donald Trump. There's great people. There's valid points on both sides. I know you guys watch Digital Foundry too. Okay? How many games there's texture popping issues, there's frame pacing issues. In their performance mode, it doesn't stay at 60, and then there's a patch later on, they go back to the game. You know, all the time. So I'm not wrong either. But was I wrong about the games being playable? Sure. So I gotta hold that L. But am I completely wrong? Hell no. Hell no. No, David, I'm not wrong. So what planet are you living on to say that there are not, especially now with UE5 coming around and even beforehand, that there are plenty of games that launch with major performance issues? Come on, dude. That's silly to say, too. You know what I mean? And then, you know, in the future, a lot of the games, like how many copies did Spider-Man sell already? I know it's millions upon millions. Oh, he's here. If there's the 1.0 version of the physical copy and Sony doesn't exist, what happens? You know what I mean? Hold on, it's still waiting for your audio. I see you. Did my audience see you? I didn't realize you had the camera's on. Hey! There's a man. I can't hear you. It still has that little 3 dots with I'll play the Oblivion music while...
What about now? What about now?
Now, fucking figures. I pressed the Oblivion button. Now I can hear you.
You can hear me. Oh, great. Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
How you doing? Miles was on before. He said to not take you being a prick to heart because he said you're Australian. So
oh yeah,
yes.
Yeah. Sorry, so, my audio's my headphones are really bad.
And it's very it'll be very tough to be angry at you because I just found out you were the guy who made the patch for Bloodborne running at 60 FPS.
Don't even, mate. Don't even. I can't see my camera, but I can see you. Actually, do you have a camera turned on in Zoom? I can't see you in Zoom.
No, my setup is fucked because I go through a game capture card for my GH5.
That's awesome. Yeah, so do I, but it's yeah, I got it working. I installed Zoom. No, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I'm just razzing you up, man. I was just being I'm sorry, my Twitter account is just the worst shit. And I'm pretty sure
I'll take back because I was just saying this to Miles before. Here's what happens when you're on social media. It's fucking binary. There's no context. There's no nuance. You misinterpret things, and then I go into anyway.
Well,
prick mode.
Look, to your credit, I was trying to razz you up. Like I was giving you a hard time. Like you were right to be annoyed. Like it's not like you're in the wrong.
That is also true as well. That is also true as well.
But it sounds like you've already talked to Miles from Does It Play, and it sounds like there was some kind of valuable conversation that took place there, right?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, there's more games playable than I realized.
Mm.
Are the updates still a major issue, and it's something that's discussed constantly? Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of like a both can be right thing. But
Yeah.
did I go on my stoned high horse like an asshole? I'm not
So,
blaming marijuana.
I gotta
I'm
ask because I don't have I'm missing like important context here, and maybe some people in your chat are as well. I don't know. Maybe they'll find this valuable. Did you make some kind of bet or something like that in one of your videos? Like, what happened? What was the story?
I was saying, which was bold of me. I was if you could get me a game that, matter of fact, let's watch the clip so I know exactly.
Okay.
So I don't. So I'm not. Who is the guy who had the clip up there? Does anyone remember? I could put it up on the screen, and I'll send it to you through the chat too, so you can see it.
Oh,
as
nice.
Well. Does anyone remember the clip? Well, whatever. There was a clip of me saying
that's fine.
Where I went to level 10 when I would have went to maybe level 6, where I essentially insinuated that every game ship's broken.
Yeah.
Which, that is also wrong. But is our games shipping in an unideal state and have to get big updates most of the time? That is also true.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah,
So,
and like Miles obviously already covered all this with you, so it's probably super boring to hear me ramble about it. Like, it's annoying to the doesn't. I'm not part of the doesn't play team or community or anything like that, but I know they get annoyed when people try to normalize games coming out and not working off the disc. And they're like, the more people normalize it, the more publishers feel safe doing it. And then when a publisher does it, a bunch of defenders come out saying like, "Oh, that's just how it is. Get with the times, boomer. Who doesn't have internet these days?" And it's just a frustrating cycle. So it's nice that Miles
which I
was able
can't,
to be
yeah,
like,
I can't stand that. I fucking loathe the shit out of that, because that's why I was showing my audience. I got back into physical formats and downloads and record stuff off of Spotify because I'm so tired of. Their argument is, well, it's just a subscription. You don't have a right to the music. But it's like, if I've been listening to an album for years and you had a licensing fallout with the label, now I don't have access to that because reasons, you know. And so it's kind of, and look at what happened with Discovery with PlayStation. That's where, you know, I kind of got into this whole thing, is that these people, TOS aside, I understand terms of service, everyone always brings it up to me. You're still spending what you would spend on a physical copy for these movies, but then they could take them away. And they're making it to you, TOS aside, like you own them, but then you don't, and Sony could go, hey, even though you bought this movie from Discovery, sucks for you, you don't have access to it anymore.
Yeah, it's so shit. Like, and then people will be like, "Oh, if you had read the terms and service," it's like, go fuck yourself. Those terms of service don't even hold up in court anyway. It's just none of us have the money to hire lawyers to actually take Sony to court about it, so they just get to win by default. Like, it's not good, and it's not like, I don't even think it's legal, but what are you going to do? They're not willing to sell it to us. And obviously, you know, people say like, "Oh, well, I'll buy your product when you're willing to sell it to me. In the meantime, I'll just pirate it." Like, it's a whole thing. And with video games, we don't really have that freedom, especially console games. You can't just pirate a console game. It's a whole ordeal trying to pirate a console game.
TOS fucking aside, it's essentially, I feel it's almost like they're pirating from you. They're stealing from you because they at least give the impression that instead of, like, for example, on YouTube, let's go, like, you could rent a movie or you could buy a movie. They're like, it's 4 times the price to buy the movie. So you're thinking in your head, no matter what the platform is, all right, I'm not renting this movie on PlayStation. I'm buying it so I could have. I really like the movie. I could have constant access to it. But that they're proving with this stuff that that's a load of shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, no, it's fucked. It's completely fucked. And like, you know, I mean, obviously, like, the ideal situation is that get discs. You know, we go back to the days when Sony's certification required a disc build of a game to actually be real fucking nice. Like, version 1.0 of a game should be like it was back in PS2 days. But Sony have gotten a bit more slack. They have cases like CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk asked for an exemption from the certification process and promised that the day one patch would fix the game. And Sony said, "Okay, well, we trust you because The Witcher 3 was good." Cyberpunk comes out, the day one patch doesn't fix the game, and Sony say like, well, you broke your agreement, we're going to remove the game
Oh yeah,
from
they
sale.
took it off the store.
Yeah, because they broke because developers can do that. They can request an exemption. They can say like, look at our pedigree, look how much work we're putting into testing, look at all the equipment we're doing. By the time the game actually drops, we'll have, even though our current build that we sent you doesn't pass certification, the day one patch will get it right up to scratch. And Sony say, we trust you, but you've got to get that right. And they didn't get it right. The game gets removed from sale. And that doesn't happen often. It doesn't happen often that developers ask for exemptions. And usually when they do ask for exemptions, we don't know too much about it. But CD Projekt Red was definitely the most high-profile example of someone asking for an exemption. I've never heard of a developer actually failing their half of the bargain and getting their game removed from sale. But it was fun. It was very fun. I definitely enjoyed the process of watching Cyberpunk. I think we all enjoyed watching.
And now it's become the belle of the ball. And what a lot of people don't realize about Cyberpunk, I'm going down the rabbit hole with Cyberpunk. The first trailer was released before the 8th gen consoles came out.
It's so good.
How crazy is that? I mean, look, and here's the thing. I'm all about, I don't care if a developer has to take freaking 15 years for a game to come out. I'd rather it come out right than come out screwed up. But that one just baffles me. You have a game that was in development for at least a decade.
I love how when Cyberpunk came out, people were like, oh, I think it needed a couple more months in the oven. And then like 2 years later, it's like, I think it's all right now, I guess. Like, damn, that game needed way, way, way more time in the oven. But like you say, going down the rabbit hole, I think, like I said, I just wanted to come on here and just shoot the shit with you, really. Just talk shit.
Yeah, no, it's interesting talking about this.
What I wanted to talk about was a lot of us, including me, like I do buy most of my games digitally because it's a million times more convenient. I obviously have this huge library of games, millions of video games physically, but I'm not going to pretend that buying games digitally isn't way more convenient, way easier, and fucking rules. I love buying games digitally. Often a game that I play a lot, like Resident Evil 2 Remake, I bought it day one, I was playing it off disc, but as soon as I could buy it digitally instead for a couple of bucks, I bought it digitally instead because it's just so much easier to play it. But the thing that really sucks about buying games digitally is it's, you don't just have like the mandatory day one patch. Like, you put your disc in. When you buy a game on disc, you put your disc in, you get the day one patch, and the build's probably okay. But when you buy it digitally, you're always forced to run the latest version of the game. And sure, the day one patch might have been awesome, the day two patch, the day 10 patch, yeah, they really polished it up. But sometimes like a year later, they release another patch that breaks the game. And I think Crash Team Racing Remake, I never played it, but I heard it had an update that added microtransactions or fucked like the progression or something like that. And people were really pissed off about it. And people who bought the digital version can't uninstall that. They buy it digitally, they're forced to always download the latest version. If you have the disc, you can chuck the disc in and get version 1.0, which as far as I know, Crash Team Racing version 1.0 of that off the disc works fine. So that's one of the handy things that, why we should want games to still work off disc, so you can always reject the publisher trying to force shit down your throat. The other example I gave on Twitter is Horizon Forbidden West. If you buy the game on disc, you can clip the camera through Aloy's bra and see her tits. But if you buy the game digitally, you can't see her tits. So maybe that's also important to somebody. I don't know. But obviously, if you buy the game on disc and don't update it, you can't play the DLC either. So there's problems in that regard. But I hate the mandatory updates. And it doesn't just force you to update the game to the latest version. It also forces you to update your console firmware to the latest version. So you might be a PlayStation 3 owner who bought a lot of games digitally back in the day and you still have them installed. You turn on your console today and it says, oh, we need to verify licenses. We need you to sign into the PlayStation Network. We need you to update your PlayStation firmware to do that. Update your PS3 firmware, and it runs so shit now. The PS3 firmware is completely fucked. It's full of ads. It's got a big fuck. I don't think in America it has it, but in Europe and Australia,
dude, oh my god, I was noticing that it just kind of the PS3 because I have one I bought from eBay. I'm like, I don't remember it running this shitty. Because I updated it. Oh, it runs like the Switch. Like it's just the best way. Like, the Switch is when you go to the store is a fucking dog. It's
so fucking bad. The store is fucked. It's completely fucked on PS3. It's a joke.
It's like almost like how like it's not like you lose your patience and you're like, you know what? I'm not buying the game. I'm not buying it.
In PAL territory, so Europe, Australia, and stuff like that, the PS3 also has a mandatory ad for SingStar, which I don't know if you know what SingStar is, like karaoke game.
Yes, I do.
You have to scroll past it every time you want to scroll down to your games library now on PS3. And PS4 will eventually do the same thing. Even if it's not ads, they'll patch in telemetrics, they'll patch in new terms of service that says, you know, all of your fucking gameplay clips, we can sell them or some shit like that. I don't know. And if you don't agree to the new terms of service, you lose access to all your old games. So it is, people say like, oh, who cares if you need internet access to play games, because internet access is everywhere now and everyone has it. That's kind of the problem, is that everyone's got it, so the publishers think they can just force us to continuously agree to their new terms.
But that's I don't mean to cut you off, I apologize, but that's not completely true. I have people in my audience saying that I have DSL, or I have, even if I have high-speed internet, it's like 2.5 megabits per second up and down. So that assumption on their part is they're complete fucking assholes, because if someone has to download a 50 gigabyte patch and they have a 2.5 megabyte per second download speed, that's a nightmare. That's an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, I try not to, usually when I'm talking about digital downloads being mandatory, there's always a lot of people who just aren't willing to consider that some people don't have internet access for that. So I'm always looking for other, you know, like, well, if you've got high-speed internet access and you're always connected, here's some ways the publisher can use that against you. They can be like, well, if you're online, you won't mind agreeing to this new contract that says you have to fucking give Gabe Newell a kiss on the forehead and tuck him into bed every night before you can play your Steam games. Like, they'll do that. Twitch, obviously, Steam updates are mandatory, and I don't know what they put in their terms and conditions. I don't care. Like, Steam's never really done me wrong. But I'm just trying to give some context for, like, yeah, sometimes the, you know, the ever-present connectivity is leveraged against you a little bit in ways that are a little bit gross, yeah.
Yeah, and we have these blind trusts of these companies, which would happen with Discovery should make us not have, is that, oh, even though it's in the TOS, they could take away our shit. They won't do it. Yeah, they will. No.
Yeah,
they will.
Well, I mean, and I'm not so much of a doomsayer, you know, doomsday guy. Like, one day the servers are going to go down and stuff like that. It's more, are the servers going to stay up forever, and they're going to just keep funneling new shit down our throat that we have to keep agreeing to give us, you know, for us to maintain our access. So I try to find conversations around the subject that are more understandable for people who do have constant connectivity, who do have faith in the companies to stay online. Like, I don't think Steam's ever... If people say, like, oh, Steam have promised that if it ever goes down, they'll release an update where we can continue playing all our games. And I'm like, well, okay, that's fair, but what happens if Steam stays up? What are some of the small downsides to these constant connectivity, the constant delivery of updates, the constant new terms of service and that? And they haven't been bad so far. Like I said, I don't think there's any terrible examples of Steam, but there's terrible examples of the PlayStation 3 firmware being updated, so who knows what the future holds.
Well, if you remember... Steam, they have the awesome return policy now, kind of tying into what you're saying.
Thanks to the Australian government,
yeah. You guys kicked Gabe in the nuts. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have, because they used to be like Nintendo, like, oh, you don't like this game, or oh, it makes your computer blue screen for whatever reason. Sucks for you. Yeah. So.
It's the same reason, did you know it's the same reason PlayStation 3, 4, and 5 games are region-free is also because of the Australian government? I think that's another little thank you we deserve for that one.
Yeah, you guys, you in the UK. The UK is second behind you. You guys kick them in the balls. And, you know, so... All right, man, I appreciate you coming on. This was the most pleasant turnaround of me being an asshole I think I've ever had doing this. And, you got to teach me how to play Bloodborne at 60 FPS, because you could ask my audience. I'm holding back because I hate the frame pacing even on the PS5.
I will mention, and sorry, I've been calling you Richard. Is your name Richard?
You could call me Richard. You could call me Dick. You could call me... I don't care. I'm not one of those guys, because everyone's like, what do you want me to call you?
People in my Discord were calling you Rich, and I'm like, shit, I hope that's actually his name.
You could call me Rich, Dick, Richard. Yeah, I don't care. I
think you have covered my content on your YouTube channel before, because I did a bunch of videos hacking PT, you know, fucking around with the camera and showing off camera stuff. I think like years ago you actually covered that stuff as well, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was another promising thing that Konami fucked up. They're wonderful.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, Lance, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. And I've learned shit. So there you go, and I'm happy to support what's going on Does It Play. And
Yeah, good result. Yeah.
there you go. Yeah. So in the end, this was great for everybody. Have a great night, and I'll start following you on Twitch too, and check you out there.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, drop a link to my Twitch channel in your YouTube chat.
Yeah, I'll go. Send it to me in DM on Twitter, and I'll put it there, man. All right.
Yeah, nice. You just kick me out of the Zoom call whenever you're ready, man. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you later. Good luck.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Yeah.
This is the weirdest night of my life.
Try to relax your anus.
Yeah, I meant to hit that. You know what, though? I had fun. And I don't mind, because I'm supporting something good, you know? And that's... It just kind of makes me angry. Not them. I'm talking about, like... When you go to these stores, like online, when you go to the Xbox store or the PlayStation store... All right, you want to have it in the TOS, which we know is there. I will pick up your call in a goddamn second, Google Fish. Don't make me shit on the roof of your car. All right, fine. You want to get it that you could take these games away from us whenever the fuck we want? Fine. But don't charge me $70 then. Don't charge me $70. You want to have it that a licensing deal happens, so we have to get rid of the game or movie. Don't charge me the full price. I'm going over all. I know I missed a bunch of super chats. I'm sorry. Your super chat has not been. So, look, man. I always tell you guys that if you want to be a loudmouth dick, you also have to have some humility. And what I was wrong about was being completely right. It can be both, where you can be right and wrong. Does that make sense? Because that's exactly what happened. Yes, a lot of games have sizable updates, but I overestimated how many of them are broken out of the box. Yeah, he admitted, and I give him credit, he admitted he was purposely trying to piss me off, which, you know what? I'm proud of him. And how could I fucking, and this ain't brown nosing, you guys know me, how long have I had a hard on for fucking Bloodborne, but I've said I've waited. I want to play Bloodborne at 60 FPS so fucking bad. That's why I'm not playing it. I play it, I'm like, this is a great game, but the frame pacing is shit. I can't do it. Even on the PS5. Man, I'm like, maybe with the extra grunt of the PS5 SoC, maybe it'll be a solid 30. No. It's not. It's still... And I rather... like, bad frame pacing at 30 feels like 20 FPS. I hate bad. I almost rather have like a solid 25 FPS than. So anyway, there's a new Lolcow podcast starring me. Let me go piss real quick. I promise I won't spam the applause. I know I'm overdoing it. Let me go piss real quick. I'll be right back. And Oh, why am I seeing bald everywhere? So there's a new Lolcow podcast. Let me change the title. Thank you for everyone for being here. This was a strange evening. Watching Lol. It's like, is it pre-recorded or is it being live stream? They're live. Yeah, life is strange, man. But in the end, I was right about the problem, but I was wrong about the severity, so in the end, I was wrong. Google Fish is telling me to check messages. What is going on?
You and the other man, whoever the fuck he was, were bald. You both should fucking go ahead, get some lotion, grease each other's heads up, and then fucking pick up 2 flashlights and then fucking blind everyone with the goddamn glare coming off your heads. Like I saw the other guy, his fucking bald head was glaring, dude. It was insane. It was nuts. It was...
I could tell that was from his asshole because you heard him rustling to get the phone near his ass, and you could actually hear his butthole extend. Yes, it's been an interesting night. It's been an interesting night. Yeah, I hope so. He was wrong about the Xbox Series X only games. He said there was only one he could find. That's flat out false. I have to look into it. Let's start from the beginning. Let me start from the beginning at the top of the list. Master Rambo gifted a membership. Thank you. Listen, Richie, give me my... I did. I'm a fucking asshole. I'm an asshole. It's okay. The account is a hack as someone who has been gaming. Modern gaming is a mess of day one. It is. It is a mess. I'm not wrong about that, but it's also not wrong that the games are playable. It can be both. It can be both. That's the reality of it. Yeah, could you... No. Could you imagine I did some shit like that? Psych! No. No, thank you. No. Rich, I work at Does It Play? So he was on, tried to play the GTA. Well, there you go. There's an example. Have a good one, Lance. Yeah, I forgot. You're on Team Bald. You heard Google Fish is at one of my followers' asses. Welcome to my streams. Well, you know, why bother? Because it sucks that we're being shafted. You know, it's like I said, human nature always wins. The most convenient way to consume something is always going to win. Both Miles and Lance also wholeheartedly agree with that. There's no other way around it. That's why the formats of audio that I discussed before went the way they went. Tape in most cases sounds vastly inferior to a good piece of vinyl on a good turntable, but you can't put that in your fucking pocket. But it's getting to the point where you own nothing. They don't want you to own anything. They don't want you to have backwards compatibility. Kind of. Why do you think? I'm hoping that from what I've been hearing, it's not the case. With the next Switch, backwards compatibility is being it's contested, it's debated. Because they rather resell you the games as remastered. Why the fuck are they remastering The Last of Us 2? Why? I don't care, it's just doesn't need it. Because they want to keep reselling the same shit over and over and over and over and over again. And it's a problem. It should be a free fucking update. The game was a super late. When did that come out? Like 2020? 2019? GTA 5 remastered. Like, who the... And that's what they want to do. If they rather you not, oh, you have that big Switch library? Nah, got to keep your old Switch for that. Now, we don't know this yet. 2020. We don't know this yet. What the next Switch will be. But if it isn't, you know why. Oh, you want to play Breath of the Wild again? Sure, pay a $20 upgrade or buy the remastered version. Nintendo's done that, but is on board with that shit too. If you want to get political, even getting houses is becoming unobtainable. Hopefully it doesn't stay that way. Why do you think I bought my parents' house? So that's why. That's why, Deadman. It's all exceptions on both, but you're correct on what... Yeah, but it's like... I was wrong by how extreme I made it, but we were both right in terms of... Yeah, I'm right where it is a problem. A major problem. But I was wrong in there are more games playable than I was leading on. There you go. Can I get a snort? I don't have the snort. I have
I'd like to belch directly in your face right now.
Or this one makes up for it.
Pussy! Pussy!
Tell Lance to come on down and we can do cat ears and wear naked anime shirts stream. Look, he was cool as hell, man. I guess Lance is bigger than Boogie, Muda, and Keem that he can't come and talk to. Well, he said he was trying to get under my skin, so that's all under the bridge now. I'm a physical fanboy. But what people are arguing over saying the sky. Yeah, it is a problem. I'm not wrong on that. It is a problem. You know, I mean, the argument can be made. Hikiboro, we already answered that. That the games are much bigger. There's no way the developers, with how massive the games are, could. But I'm like, no. what it is, look, I'm not a developer, but what it is that the publishers want the games out by a certain time. If you want, that's why, actually, that's really the reason why Nintendo games, if they do have updates, they're small, because Nintendo releases the games when they're fucking ready. Not because they want to hit a quarter, mostly. Should I stay? Who? Dave's Hot Chicken. What the fuck is Dave's Hot Chicken? I know, we're going to watch Lolcow. Let me get... So there you... I read that before, Dead Man. Yeah, there's movies that you can't get. If you had a physical copy of that movie, you could still watch it. Yeah, I showed on stream. I paid them through Patreon. Just have to make sure when they get the money I cancel, because right. Yeah, I'm not giving $2,000 a month. Digital music streaming has essentially killed musicians. Yeah, well, you can't earn a living from the actual selling of your music anymore. You have to do tours. The days of where records would make you, selling records would make you a millionaire are over. In most cases, unless you're a huge artist. It was Weird Al Yankovic got 80 million plays on Spotify. What did he get, like $12? Like, it's literally something ridiculous like that. It's insane. 80 million plays. What happens if he sold 80 million singles? It's fucking weird, dude. Oh, it has been detrimental to mainstream music. 100%. My ex-wife sucks. Take my $5. Thank you, man. I can relate. Steven Crowder's hump leg, my membirds. Did I get... I think I got to it now. Seltzer, Orodu. This is Seltzer. This is bubbly Seltzer. Question about Super Mario Art. Was it done on a launch switch with no firmware update? Well, that's a damn good question. I wish I asked him. And Dr. Sexy Coco, I meant to read this before, but going back, for me, it's about what the developer's vision is. If they release a day one update, that's their vision. 99% of people only care about playing the final product. It's cool to go back and play Cyberpunk 1.0, but most won't. Now, that's a good point. That's not why. It's because Nintendo threatened to sue. That makes perfect sense. I'm not sure what... As long as EULA, you don't own stuff, you merely rent it. Which is bullshit. Then they shouldn't charge full price, like I'm saying. I know that's in the TOS. They know you don't read the TOS. So basically, it's like a pinky swear that you could pay full price for it. And we promise we won't take it away, but we might. So... Babylon's Fall, Series X and S have removable drives. Overwatch 1 is a coaster. I haven't played it, so I can't verify or deny that. There are plenty of games that are only on Series X and not Xbox One. I buy all my games digitally, so I can't confirm or deny that either. Hey Rich is a rock band who I used to love, but the lead singer did horrible things. Any idea on how to separate the art from the artist? Love your content and wish you the best. I usually can. I won't listen to Rome Streets anymore, though. You're going to get bent over me using your acapella in a beat where I wasn't making any money off of it on a non-monetized channel. I can't look at him the same. I can't respect his music after that. You don't respect the art if you act that way. It's easier for me with like Ren and Stimpy, for example, because you don't see John K. I can do that. I can watch like the Gabe Newell thing from Silvermania. It still doesn't hit the same though. Well, you could disagree. You could, if you could separate, if someone basically said that it's like you sitting out in front of their shop and that they would fucking clock you for doing it, then good for you. Hope he enjoys Blockafellow Records. That's what he said. He says all the incels in my chat. So tell me you were stereotyping me without stereotyping me. And I'm not talking about race, like I always say. So it's tough, man. If the art isn't directly correlated to the artist, I basically have no problem doing it. Who was being corny? That I wish I asked him too. Donald Trump's tremendous. I don't blame you. On a roof from some dudes when I just wanted them to stop talking and leave. Much respect for you putting your money where your mouth is. Here's a little to offset that cost. Drink horse brand. Spell it. Shit, dude. Shit happens. Whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, that was so corny. Blockafellow Records. Yeah, pat yourself on the back harder, dude. And unlike Lance, who came on, who I appreciate, he was like, yeah, I was purposely busting your balls. He was being serious. I still hold to with that. How many people remix their shit and they just ignore it? Countless people. I mean, it could have been that I had a following too. Maybe that's what set him off. But usually, most of the time when they're like, yeah, it's garbage, I'm just not going to ignore it. Still to this day has a pretty high rating. Maybe he was pissed he didn't think it was garbage, and he thought that my track would have overshadowed the original track, which I wasn't making a penny on. Who knows? Who really gives a fuck at this point? I'm still doing my thing. It's time to host a Phil special event stream to make more money. Yeah, dude, I'm not worried about it. It is what it is. It's a good cause. They're good people. Shit happens. You know. Welcome to being a public figure and doing YouTube. I'm sure I'll fuck myself in the ass down the line again, too. Everyone has. Look at like what happened with Linus Tech Tips. Look at what's happening with Gerard, but that's on a whole other level of shit. Yeah, that 2K could have saved Phil's career, but well, you know what, man? The best thing to do is you just move on from it. You know, if you like, if I talked about this for weeks afterwards, you're just making yourself a target. Notice, does Linus bring it up at all? He doesn't talk. As far, I don't watch. Maybe he does on his live shows. I don't know. But I was talking to Ian Watkins from Lost Prophets. Who is that? Let me look it up. Ian Watkins. Prophets. Ah, okay. Oh boy. Rich is a man with birds who does what he says. Right move. What can you imagine DSP in this situation? Oh, he wouldn't have given the money. He wouldn't have given the money. And it would have been another thing that would have been held against him. Heroine, you buy it, it's yours, preserve it. But even if you buy the disc, that I'm pretty sure that EULA, yes, end user license agreement, it's the same fucking thing. Oh, DSP wouldn't have had the conversations with him because he would have been afraid of that happening. You know. I forgot to mention that during RoboCop. Sub for 1 month and cancel would work. Oh, we got it. Yeah. I just don't really use... I shut down my creator. I would never go back on there. Patreon. Be careful what you say, famous last words, but I don't see myself going back on there. Figures that YouTube wouldn't tell me that you were streaming when I've been at my computer re-downloading everything tonight. Well, welcome to YouTube. It chooses to send out... I can't complain because my viewership has generally been substantially up concurrently. I promise we'll get to the Lolcowcast, guys. It's not fair for me to skip people's super chats, and that's what would happen. World of the story. Think before you speak. Yeah. Again, I have a point, but I made it too broad, and that's what made me wrong. In all honesty, media preservation is the cause I want people to donate to for my funeral, so no harm in my mind if that's where it's really going. You know what's sad, though, is that I still think it's a... Ralph, thank you very much. It's shocking. I don't think we're going to win it, man. Convenience always wins, and people are like cattle when it comes to that, you know? So I don't know that Sexy Coco, where it's flat out false with the Series X game. Horizon Forbidden Breasts. Stadia did it best, then they shut it down and refunded all digital media. If you had evidence you bought controllers, they refunded that too. You know what sucks is they were like the most pleasant cloud gaming experience. Oh, Google, you always fuck that shit up. Some ISP have data caps. That's another thing too. So if you want to download updates and stuff. Where do I get his shirt? That's a damn good question. Richie dealt with firmware update on Xbox 360. Yes, I did deal with that update. Got rid of my Blades dashboard. Only Nintendo games are most stable games out of the box. Because, again, that's because Nintendo releases the game when it's done, not when it's fucking... when a quarter's up, usually. We need legislation to protect digital rights. Hopefully. But in the States, anyway, all the corporations are in the pockets of our elected officials, so... Yeah, the 30 FPS fidelity mode in that game, I played it, was shit. It was like a wonky 30, kind of like Bloodborne. Bloodborne playthrough, but shield, and that means I would be gimped. This is why I still buy Blu-rays 4Ks. I'm not into owning my own stuff, but eventually that will either stop or be cost prohibitive to keep doing. Yeah. You'll own nothing and be happy. That is very true, what Louis Rossman said. That was this song right here. It's something I'm working on. I'm not completely... I'm done with in terms of, like, if I gotta do drops. I'd like to find a acapella from Rock Marciano to put on there. I think he would fit it. Did you get your Dave's Hot Chicken, Dead Man? Rich, I'm so hard that I could pierce an unopened seltzer, and then your dick would be sliced off. Today I spilled a drink, and deadass the phrase that I exclaimed was humping Steven Crowder. Wait, listen.
Humping Steven Crowder?
I still love. We're bad now. We're done, and I'm amazed that we got someone to say that. Xbox removed emulators from retail because of Nintendo. We can infer that because Nintendo forced an emulator to be taken. Yes! It was because Microsoft wanted to stop people emulating. I detest what Chris Benoit did, double murder on his kid, but I can still appreciate what he accomplished as a wrestler. I guess it's a case-by-case basis. You know. Okay, I'll switch this. Or no, the screen is the right spot. Lolcow. Live.
No, here's my thing with Pepsis, right? I'm a fucking soda addict. Like, All
right.
Dude, what's up?
Alright, listen, you know how I told you I have big news?
Yeah?
And that you have to film it. Alright, this is the big news.
What's up?
Lolcow Live has been doing so good that we got our first sponsor for the entire month of December. Each one of you are going to make a commercial promoting this brand, and you're up this week. Alright?
Okay.
So I'm going to text you what the brand is. Make the best commercial you can, because I'm going to have the fans vote who has the absolute best commercial. Either you, Wings, or Tommy C.
Oh, I'm going to nail this. You know I'm going to nail this, right?
I hope so. All right. Best of luck, Boogie.
Awesome, dude. Thank you, man.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Lolcow Live with none other than Boogie2988, Wings of Redemption, and a very special guest who just did a documentary on Wings of Redemption, Mr. June the King.
I prefer to be called Super Fatty Pimp Daddy.
Yeah. Can I introduce the guy already? I mean, jeez. You'll get your chance, Wings. June, welcome to the program. Really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me on.
Let's cut right to commercial. Thank you.
Hold on.
Ho, 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 ho. Now, what do you want for Christmas, little girl?
I want a computer for metaPCs.
Ho, ho, ho. Well, they've got such great deals. Santa can get that for you in a snap. Oh, it's a little Christmas miracle.
This is really awkward. I feel like this is like a reenactment with his ex-wife.
Now come here, little girl. Santa's gonna want some milk and cookies. You know that, right?
Yes, I do.
And with metaPC's deep disc.
Oh no, we gotta watch this. Beat him and eat him as the devs intended, yes.
Scouts, you too could get
Thank
a
you.
PC for Christmas. If you're looking for a pre-built PC or laptop, they could ship you one in time for Christmas. But if you're really looking to spend, you could build that custom PC with all of the bells and whistles, just like Santa's got back at the North Pole. And if you use code LOLCOW, you're going to save some money, and we'll make...
Well, isn't Keemstar like invested in metaPC? So of course they could get them as a sponsor.
some money. Make sure all of those naughty boys and girls at the podcast get paid. Now give me some sugar, baby.
This could have been you, Phil. Well, that's horrifying. He looks like he was about to turn into a rapist, but let's get
Ho, ho, ho. Well, that's right. Go to metapcs.com now and use code Lolcow to save 4% off of your brand new gaming PC.
Yeah, that was a fucking... No, I was checking something on PayPal, sir.
All right, back with the Lolcow podcast. June the King, are you honored to be here with Mr. Wings Redemption? And because it seems like this is the first...
Ooh, this is an interesting guest.
Say that your new documentary came out on Wings. Quite good for us.
Yeah.
It seems to be doing quite well.
Yeah, well, think about it. Someone, when he was like allegedly... Why am I saying allegedly? Arguably peak Boogie... He says like 2018. I would say like 2013, 2014. She was 10. Whatever it is, what it is. She's legal now. She's a grown-ass woman. She can do what she wants. But when he was married to his ex-wife making those Francis videos, she was 10.
I thought it was very fair, but what's wrong with it, Wings? I mean, have you given it a watch?
Yeah, Troll McTrollington, his computers come with free teeth blood. I'll make it full screen, sorry. My apologies. Listen, where are you sitting? You look like a big like Sat and you have a white beard. I need to sit on that lap. No one's sitting on my lap.
I've skimmed them. Like, my issue is like he puts a background narrative on them that is almost like trolly in tone, because most of his sources are from troll channels. To be honest, because I'm a very closed person.
What could possibly be trolly about it?
I don't know. You got to give me bullet points because I've only skimmed it. Like, I don't.
Meta hates me. Breaking news: a company or person hates me, because I called them out with the whole Jeremy shit. Remember, that's when Keffels came on here. I stayed 80 miles away from that. I don't know what the fuck is going on with her. I don't even want to know. But Ricky Berwick, I guess he's part owner of the company, so that made him all ass hurt. So he doesn't like me now. Darn.
Jordan, I really think this particular one you would like watching, if I'm being honest with you.
Breasts.
Because it's very sympathetic towards you.
DBZ King 119 donated $15. My first order of business as the new head of the FCC is to replace the standard alert sound of the emergency broadcast system with your shoulders. I've come to this decision with the help of the head of the CDC, Dr. Sexy Coco. Joe Biden approves.
Listen, could you imagine like a fucking tornado's coming and you hear
Your shoulders, your shoulders, your shoulders, your shoulders.
Now, listen, I am fully on board with that. My OBS scene looks like Brady Bunch. Ah, dude, okay. You're right.
More than anything, a moratorium on your trolls and how they are basically
those dudes.
Yeah.
Well, it's only 9:30, dude.
Dude, my trolls are the fucking kings of fucking dirt bagging.
Well, I mean,
I don't want to say what they call it.
Yeah, but we're getting away. I don't think you're giving June a fair shot here.
Yeah,
I think it's very sympathetic and
I'm
extremely
gonna ask
fair.
June a question.
Yeah, well, what is it?
What is June's opinion of my troll community?
Man, Jordy, I think you have some very intense trolls. I think you have some really crazy people there. I mean, like your lighter trolls are pretty funny. I mean, the ones who just like say like big ups pimp in the chat, like those guys are just funny. But the guys who like swat you and extort you, I don't know. I think that's like really fucked up.
Well, the SWAT guy's going to jail.
Yeah.
Is he?
Like the guy who, yeah, that was Wing Ting's version 3.
Has he gone to jail? I mean, I've heard.
I heard that he
Oh
possibly went to
shit, he's going to jail.
jail. I didn't see any reports.
No,
so.
he's
I watched Boogie in 2013, so she's 3 years younger. I couldn't imagine someone saying in 10 years he's going to date that 4th grader. I mean, again, it's legal. It is what it is. She's going to regret it when she's older, but she's an adult, so.
He's in jail.
Oh.
He's in jail.
Okay.
Imagine go like, look, I'm not saying this is a shot at Wings. I'm not saying it because it's a shot at Wings. Like, imagine going to jail because of there's a live streamer or a YouTuber that you don't like. Time to relax your anus better for the EES. Everyone's going to have time to relax your anus, says the alarm.
Try to relax your anus. Try to relax your anus.
I'm letting you know he's in jail.
What jail?
I don't know that, but I'm
well, you don't know he's in jail. Be real.
I mean, I have an FBI agent. He's in jail.
They're trustworthy.
Okay.
He says he's in jail and just says that's it. They're not aware of a trial or anything. That June the King is a great researcher. We certainly could find out more details, right, June?
Yeah, maybe we can look up if Wing Tings is in jail. Yeah, could be a possibility.
June.
He has stretched the truth before at best, so that could be a pile of crap. Wings.
I sent you a DM that Jordy said about you in our chat. Would you want to read it for us?
A DM.
Yeah, I sent it right here in Discord, but I sent you. It's actually from Jory.
Oh, Wings, you said this. Was this you, Wings? Okay.
Could you read that for us, June?
What? I don't even know what this is.
I watched bits and pieces of that June the King. Sounds like he is a 120-pound manlet. Dude, that never showed her face. Wings, in that video, I showed my face. It was in the beginning.
I said I skimmed it.
Come on, man.
Ban anybody who skims things.
Skimmed it.
It was in the first 2 minutes, though. Wings.
How much do you weigh?
To be fair, I still don't know what he looks like because we can't see each other.
That's fine. I would like to be, I guess, lighter, but I'm not 120 pounds.
I'll be honest. I haven't taken watched a lot of your videos, the ones about me, but a lot of the other ones as well. I was surprised to see your appearance in this one. I actually, I don't know. I had a mythical version of you in my head, and you don't look like that. You look like just your average human being.
So what's the deal with these new YouTubers always wanting to hide behind shit or make cartoon avatars and mess like that? What's the deal?
Well,
why did you feel like you wanted an avatar instead of your actual face?
You mean my profile picture? Is it
Yes.
Well, the thing is, Wings, with my videos, I try not to make myself the center of the videos. So if I intersplice myself talking, it really interrupts the flow because the focus is you. The focus is Boogie. The focus is not me, right? I'm not the center of the story.
Yeah, but you don't think that removes your ability to create community?
No, I don't really think it does too much. I think people will certainly attach to me if I show my face more, but I think that more so detracts from the content. So I try to avoid
Wait,
that.
I gotta interrupt you. Do you think he's one of these YouTubers that use an avatar as all video? Because he doesn't.
I don't use an avatar.
Well, I was about to explain that.
There are a lot that do, though. No, there are a lot that do. They hide behind avatars. Wings is right about that.
You got to see where I'm coming
okay.
from. Tommy, quit interrupting. From my.
Ban anybody who interrupts me.
Experience, I deal with a lot of shady people, especially in the last 5 or 6 years of my life, and the vast majority of them have anime avatars or waifus, or even the weird ones have wolves or cartoon wolves and shit. And these are the people that want to cuss me out and shit like that. So every time I see somebody making a critique about me, it's always an avatar. It's never a face.
So
and
every time, June's not one of them. So you don't watch June's video. You assume that he's one of these avatar English kids. I find them annoying too.
Yeah, but you got to look at my place. June's video isn't the only documentary floating around about me. There's the rabbit hole. There's June the King.
Why would you throw him in with all those other guys?
Because it's face value. I don't watch any of them.
I know, but Wings, you just say you don't watch any of them, you skim them, yet you have so many
them.
critiques. You know what I mean? That just doesn't seem very fair, my dude.
What critique did I put out there?
What critique?
Yeah, what did I critique on your video? Like all I said is like why the avatar?
Yeah, that. Well,
like,
that's
not
just
a critique
an
of the video
example,
itself.
initially. I remember like I believe my second video, you talked about how you skinned Frederick Knutson's video, right? And you were saying how he has false information, how he doesn't get it accurate, and you were just saying like mine was more for the trolls too. Like mine was more trolly in the sense, and has more narrative.
Yeah, like
see,
you named your video a desperation of content. Like I choose not to create content because I don't have faith in myself anymore.
Wings, the thing is that's
that's not healthy. I choose not to create content because I have no faith in myself. Like, oh well, that's great.
The title is not more so like it's not really for you, like it's more for the trolls. I mean, you are like I feel like more desperate than you've ever been, but that's more for the trolls because I feel the trolls.
Why do you feel that way?
Because you're sniffing your chair for $10.
Well, that's because it's a dumbass thing. If they want to give me real tangible money to sniff a leather chair which doesn't hold smell, I will do it.
That's a bit desperate. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Jordy, okay, I have a question. Coming off of the fight,
I could see Wings' side too, where he's just doing it. I do stupid shit. I don't know if I would sniff my. Well, maybe I'd sniff my chair. It's leather. What the fuck is it gonna have in it? I have never shit my pants in this chair.
Right. Would you be sniffing your chair when you were like?
This was after the fight. This is a week after the fight that happened. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just, to be honest,
because I look at it this way. Like the money's something that will.
Boogie, you are on OnlyFans. Stop. Boogie, you are on OnlyFans. Stop it.
Benefit my life. I can use it for charity work. 'Cause I do charity work. I can use it for.
No, I'm not sniffing my chair.
Like doctor bills, I can put it away in savings, so I never have to choose between food or medicine. Like me sniffing the chair has no like long term risk with it. It's not like I'm gonna catch COVID-19 for sniffing a chair. I sit my fat ass in.
But do you know how that's going to present? Like, I've learned a very valuable lesson since this documentary dropped, for example, about how, you know, even if it's a bit, even if it's a joke, how it's going to present. Specifically, when you have the troll community that likes to pick apart.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I don't really give in to my control community, or at least as much as they do. But I don't know. People hold I don't give a shit. People hold against me that I take my shirt off. People call me a Lolcow, or like they compare me to like an e-girl. Whatever. Do what you want. But in the end, it's about entertaining people. Yeah, I personally think you have to have some limits, but if people get a laugh depending on what you do, they get a laugh. No, he ain't dropping 200 for me to sniff the chair.
Everything you do.
Right.
Like you have to know how sniffing that chair is going to come across, right?
Boogie, you are on OnlyFans. I know I just said that, but
yeah, it looks desperate, but guess what? Like, it gets people to talk about you, right? Like, I know I guess that does sound.
And dude, the shit you've been doing to get eyes on you, you're really going to go after him for just sniffing a chair, Boogie? Come on.
So the title was appropriate, Wings.
No,
so you've
but, like,
conceded its title is appropriate.
No, I don't think it's appropriate, especially with this act particularly. But like, I don't care because like keeping your name out there is good for you, no matter where you're at in your career, right? Getting new people to hear about you and interact with your content is the goal. And if sniffing a chair does that and that pushes the thing forward, that's fine as well.
Yeah, you're gonna sniff a chair and degrade yourself? I'm on OnlyFans and someone asked me to show my asshole. He didn't. He didn't.
Whatever. It's not like I'm out here eating like poop or something.
So you do have a limit. There is a limit then.
Yeah, 100% limit. I just like I'm not. There's dudes with OnlyFans that do way worse than me. Like look at Nikocado Avocado. He's like on OnlyFans, like bouncing on a dildo. You never see your boy Jay doing that.
Wings. Did he? You seen the Nick Avocado bouncing on a dick. You won't see me bouncing on a dick. I safely assume that, Wings. I safely assume that you mean.
I'm glad for it. You know.
He gained most of it back, which that is fast to gain it back.
Thank God for the small favors.
It's kind of known that Nick Avocados, it's pretty public that his OnlyFans is
Unless you were doing something like along those lines, then it would have been okay to title it Desperate. And do you think it would have been appropriate then?
Right. But I look at it this way. I look at sniffing a chair, same as like people. Sniffing a chair is the same as like people paying me money to do jumping jacks.
Right, Wings.
They're both.
But the thing is, like I'm saying, like the title is not really for you. It was more so for the trolls, right? Because people will click or comment on the video being like, "Wow, Wings is really desperate," but they'll see I'm talking about more about the desperation on the trolls because that was a larger focus.
But the title did make it sound like you're talking about Wings being desperate, though, man. You're kind of doing a little goalpost move right now, June. Not gonna lie. I mean, what's the name of the video again exactly? Just so I'm, don't want to misrepresent anything, especially. Oh, he changed it. So why would you change it, June?
Of the video because it's titled "A Drought of Content," right? So that's the trolls who have the drought.
Oh yeah. Well, I want to say this, like for a long period of segueing, but like I want to say this, like for a long time I made my content as boring as humanly possible.
What the fuck was that about? Why was he spitting shit out of his mouth?
Try and drown them out, and then I gave up on it.
It did work. It really did work. I feel like you did good work avoiding the trolls and their commentary for a while.
But how does that affect
now I don't care about it.
How does that affect your bottom line, though, Jordy? Because June does a pretty good job of like saying that you choosing to do that and engaging with these trolls less means that probably your bottom line is suffering. So is that true?
No, that's not. Like the only thing that really affected my bottom line was when they attacked, like when they got me departnered on Twitch. Which that was bullshit in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what June thought. I can tell you exactly what happened. I was playing Rainbow Six, and one of the trolls joined my game, and he, doing the same stuff. Hey, Wings, doing like antagonizing me in game, and I go, I hope your mother sucks. I said another word.
You did.
The COVID word.
You did.
But I didn't want to put them all in that order. But like. And that's what got me departnered because I defended myself from being harassed in my private time.
Wait,
like
departnered? This is like video 2. We're talking about video 3.
Right. Well, like I'm just talking about like.
Are you saying if he's talking on Twitch? Oh, let me make it full screen. They'll get rid of you for anything.
This is stuff that actually affected my bottom line because I got departnered from Twitch.
But we're here talking about his video, Jordy.
Yeah, we're talking about like we're talking about the last his video. 6 months.
Yeah,
is what this video is about. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't affect. No, like ever since the fight, my revenue's been up. Like my revenue, my views, everything's been up.
Jordy, I have like I believe a clip that happened in. The fight was in May, and then it was in June. That you said how you're recounting how like low your sub counts were, how little money you were getting. I do have the all my. I could actually post all of my sources for this video.
I said that.
There's so many.
You know what? I'm not going to bullshit you. That most like what you got to understand is I'm borderline bipolar. Like some days I'm happy, some days I'm sad, and my mood can swing based on like the vibe or like certain things happening or if I'm not meeting goals or something like that. And like instead of being like an adult about things, I'll be like, oh, woe is me, Eeyore sometimes. And I try to avoid doing that for the most part. But that's really what that was. It was just a slow day. I don't even know what game I was playing. I was probably playing some off game like fucking Diablo 2 or some shit like that. Like, you can't read too much into that.
I mean,
Like,
I
it
can.
just-
You gave exact numbers. It wasn't just your mood. You gave exact numbers. You didn't show it.
Well, I'm down 33% on views. I'm down 5% on watch time. 104% on subscribers. I've actually lost 81 subscribers in the month of June. And my money is down 43%. So I can tell you exactly why that happened. It's because people were, brigging up the fight, like, oh, this fight's your second coming. I'm like, dog, my numbers aren't that much better than before the fight, which they weren't. Like, the Lolcow podcast has really shot my numbers up.
That's good. I'm happy for you, man. I really am.
I think you got this guy all wrong.
Yeah, I don't think. Like, what would the fight have really done, minus for a very short time for your channel? You know. How much to bounce them? Well, yeah, no one's bouncing. No one's bouncing on my dick. Well, I guess that's subjective, though, CB96. You're saying we laugh at you when you take off your shirt, not at you. Everyone's different.
Oh, man. I don't think you gave him a chance.
It's usually very insecure people that hold that against me.
And I think you think he was just like some troll. June the King is a document. I mean, he makes documentaries.
I mean,
he's
I'll
very
be,
refined.
I'll be
Yeah,
genuine with you.
He's very refined. I mean, he's not working at Netflix. Let's not go.
Jordy, I think if you can set your ego aside long enough to watch this particular video, I think you're going to be very surprised at the content, because for the most part, I mean, it does outline a handful of silly things you've done, like sniffing the chair and things along that lines. But it actually paints a very sympathetic picture of you, as it should. Because, I mean, everybody on the internet has trolls, but you have some of the most deranged, unhinged human beings I've ever imagined. And those people are so awful that even June has to take a giant dump on what a nightmare you've been struggling with.
Yeah.
And even goes as far as to compliment you and say what an excellent job you've done handling it, and even gives specific cases of how well you've done it, man. And like
said you didn't feed the trolls. That was another thing.
You know when I knew they were bad, when Joshua Moon came to me and gave me his condolences. It's like, oh, but I don't know. Like, you get used to it a little bit. Like, you kind of get numb to it. It's like I remember when I first started getting trolled. Like, I'd get upset about the Liquid Richard stuff and like the making songs. But like now, I wish they would just make songs. Like, just make songs. I don't give a shit. Make songs, make videos. It's like Breaking Banquet right now. Like, he takes my content and he adds words in with like AI to make it sound like I say things that I didn't say, to make the narrative even worse on me.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like some trolls definitely do try to spread misinformation, which
it's an amazing amount of effort.
Which is just annoying for research.
Well, it's all about context. It's all about content. They want to paint it a certain way, and it's like, And I know why they do it. They do it because that's how they make their money. Like, as long as YouTube is willing to pay them, they're willing to make these videos. Because most of the troll channels don't actually hate me. I think the only one who really hates me is Wings 007.
Gulag Kingpin, I think, doesn't like you very much, if I'm correct.
Well, he doesn't make content either. I mean, like, he used to, but he pretty much doesn't now. Because that's Wings of Redemption Professional Predator.
June.
Yes.
I have a note here that, I don't know if this is backtracking a bit, but I have a note here that he also said that the guy from Real Talk is going to jail, or is it the same guy we were talking about before?
Real Talk? Which one? Oh.
No, neither one. That's Wings and the other guy, the New York guy.
Yeah, but you said in his video they had a tape and said, well, this guy's going to.
See, Wings makes plenty. He's the one who got Big Cheese pissed off at me because I didn't realize. He was like, I figured out just give me my 200 is, and he's like, yeah, it was some big black guy and he did a commercial. He's the troll, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know it was Big Cheese he was talking about. So Big Cheese hates me now. Whatever, dude. I didn't do that. I genuinely thought, I didn't know he was referring to you at all.
Jail. I'd like to know who you sent to jail.
Oh, the first guy, yeah. The guy didn't really say. Oh, yeah, no, he says he's going to go, he's going to send Wings 007 to jail. He said, I'm going to say it. And he really, tried to convince everyone that he's going to send Wings 007 to jail, which never happened.
Who, me?
I believe so. Was out of jail or you're suing him? It was a long time ago. I think you're just like...
No, it was out of jail. He's sitting in jail.
I don't know the context I'm getting asked this question.
All right. A caller asked you about the Real Talk podcast, and he said that the guys that are running that are going to... One of the guys is going to jail. I mean, you had me on tape saying it. And
No, are you sure it was me? I was probably
it was your brother. Well, of course it was you.
No, it was me before.
I mean, I'll be entirely genuine with you, Jordy. When these people, like, break the law, I'm so glad to see them going to jail. Like the guy that extorted you. That's literally against... And I can't believe...
that was Gulag Kingpin.
Yeah, the conversation you had with that person. Not only were they breaking the law, not only did they admit they were breaking the law, they thought they were a superhero for doing it. And the way you handled that conversation, I have never had that much grace in my life. Most people I know don't have that much grace to handle that conversation as
you're talking about the one I recorded of him?
Yeah.
Like yeah.
That was actually very surprising. It's so surprising because the clips that I see on these troll channels or the things that I see in my timeline, that's not the Jordy.
This is boring. I had no other way. It is boring me. Like, all right, cool. But it's not... Like, all right, he handles his trolls well. Yeah, it's just rambling about the same shit. It's like, wah, wah. I don't even know if I want Phil. Ban anybody. Like, excite me here.
I mean, like...
Just anything. You watched it, like, what, 2 hours ago? Just anything to prove you watched the video.
No, I watched it last night.
Like,
on my tablet. Like,
it's been when it first came out.
Like I said, like, it's mainly just the context in itself. Like, if I had the video sitting in front of me, I could point it out, but I couldn't do it off the top of my head, no.
Not a single thing to prove that you skimmed. Not just the smallest thing that I said anything, like, at all.
I obviously knew you talked about the fight. I seen that.
Yeah, no. Nope, lost me. All right, why is this tempting me? The lost episode wasn't worth finding? I don't know if I want to finish this. It's... I could sum it up with this, is that... Ooh, I know what I want to watch. Illuminati. Gamer from Mars. Illuminati. Because I don't know anything about this woman.
Blair's up.
But unfortunately, I
better known as Illuminati.
I think I gotta take a dump. Apologize about that. Logs happen. I did not wash my hands, if you were wondering. I'm kidding.
Once stood as a prominent figure in the YouTube community. Her
No, I didn't wipe. Yes, you're always supposed to check your logs, no matter how young you are.
methodical approach to creating content and
Not sitting there saying, look in the bowl like you're dunking for something, like like that fucking duck, but
consistent video essays on unethical businesses and groups garnered her a dedicated following of over 1 million. However, a myriad of poor decisions and actions have led to her downfall. While there are plenty of videos on this site talking about her downfall and passing judgment, I'm not really interested in doing that. Instead, I wanted to marvel about how an otherwise competent manager of a large YouTube channel completely self-imploded her career for no reason, and also how her current state of viewership permanently dropped by 95%, which is not like anything else I've ever seen with my 14 years on this website. So let's go back to the beginning of this fallout to analyze the several bad business decisions Blair made to ruin her career with
why is there blood with your logs is the more important question.
In a matter of months, and why I feel it's going to be impossible for her channel to ever make a comeback from an algorithmic perspective at least. Blair's initial success was built on her ability to churn out fairly high quality video essays on various multi-level marketing companies and all things bad business related. Remaining relatively impersonal, her no-nonsense approach to dissecting unethical business practices set her apart from the rest within the community. Pumping out informative content at an assembly line pace allowed her to earn millions of views each and every month, as she built out a team to write and edit the large output, to the point where some saw her as a content farm. Because of this, I would say the first major pitfall Blair made was to fundamentally contradict what actually brought her success, trying to cultivate a personality outside of her videos. Participating in both live streams and podcasts, Blair would get involved in unnecessary drama with
I introduced my lady friends of the June, the Thing Quantum TV doc. She thinks he's insane. Well, yes. Next, I'm showing her Turkey Tom's DSP documentary, Phil is a Man. Yeah, Quantum TV's on another level. ReviewTechUSA. I don't know nothing about this woman until yesterday.
With other creators. She has the same problem as Boogie2988, where they can't help but stir up controversy with no gain. If you watch the Mike Klum doc on him, which I highly recommend, Boogie couldn't just stick to covering basic gaming news and internet personalities, but instead he tried to embrace an Andy Kaufman-esque stick that always backfired.
Are you currently doing any YouTube stuff? Is that still
Yes,
something you're
that is
doing
still,
and you're going to
I do mostly
continue
commentary.
to do it?
Yeah, I mostly do commentary videos now.
Just like Boogie's ramblings on social media sites, Blair giving hot takes on these other platforms didn't really increase her income. But her need to be part of a community led her to give her opinions on things that really didn't matter and would just inevitably lead to problems. One infamous incident involved her appearance on the Welsh Twins podcast, where she attacked a smaller creator named Madison of the YouTube channel Cruel World Happy Mind. Having only about 20k subscribers at the time, Madison witnessed Blair assassinate her character in front of thousands.
Thought what sounded funny? Review Minotti? It's alright. You're all good, dude. Yeah, the avatars thing needs to fucking go. Seriously. Like, just show your fucking face. Or if you're not going to show your face, don't you, like, do it... Who's the one that does it with that, I can't think of his name. Doesn't use an avatar, but he doesn't show his face. Cold Fusion. Took me a second.
Blair's comments during this podcast were seen as unnecessary and harsh, considering the significant power imbalance between her and Madison. Not to mention that the incident took place during the latter's pregnancy, a critical point in time where their doctor recommended they limit their stress levels as much as possible.
Because I was already really, really sick. And so the doctors were just urging me to stay healthy and limit my stress.
This is her?
And then all of a sudden, I end up in one of the most stressful dramas I have ever experienced.
While the situation would cast a dark shadow on Blair's reputation with a small group in the know, it wouldn't be the straw
Yeah, it is THC breast spray. I wasn't hiding that.
that would break the camel's back.
No, that's
the
a
real
victim,
tipping
okay.
point would be her idiotic drama with creator Legal Eagle, where she'd call him out for plagiarizing her editing style, which came down to mundane similarities such as
Dr. Sex E Coco donated $15. Rich, listen, let's make an arrangement. I'm a rich black muscular doctor with a good government job that lets me experiment with horse semen, and you're a man who would look good in a bear costume. We should come up with an arrangement for side action.
So, wait a second. What would me in a bear costume? Is a horse going to fuck me in the ass while I'm wearing a bear costume? Probably.
Is highlighting text on the screen. Even if she did have a point, which I don't think she does, by the way, Legal Eagle is in
No, Hbomberguy proved that she didn't have a point with receipts.
a completely different genre than her with minimal crossover in audiences, meaning that even if one of his editors did hypothetically get inspired by her work, it would have no effect on her career. But want to know what would affect her? Calling him out on Twitter for no reason. This would consequently backfire. And this one little piece of drama that caused her a bit of backlash would lead into a ripple effect that would destroy her life. Following the tweets, Blair opened herself up to being exposed by former colleagues and friends she had wronged in the past. With former members of the creator collective Blair was a part of, Sad Milk, each coming forward with accounts on their experience with her. Having a good relationship with colleagues is one of the most important aspects of any business, as without it, the entire backbone of your company can fall apart. Members of Sad Milk, The Click, Ozmedia, and Wonderstruck iterated how Blair would take vindictive actions against anyone she thought was out to get her, by paying people to dig up dirt on them in an attempt to silence and destroy their reputation.
I would say just, well, she seems like a piece of shit, but just to make videos. I don't know. Pointless Twitter drama. Sound like someone else.
Within the online community, with the added addition of using
Are you referring to me, I'm assuming?
anonymous accounts to expose these past friends and peers, it would showcase a more malicious side to Blair's online presence, which damaged her relationships within the creator community and caused the collective to inevitably fall apart. With this news spreading like wildfire, Blair would have no choice but to address these controversies publicly.
Hey everyone, well, there's no really fun or interesting way to start this conversation, so...
Dr. Sex E Coco donated $15. Oh my god, I just remembered there is a prominent character in Cyberpunk 2077 names, Mr. Hands. That has to be intentional.
Yeah.
Listen, put on the bear costume, get us a nice bottle of horse cum seltzer, and let's make sticky on a bed of PS triples.
Could you imagine I actually made a seltzer and it was called horse cum? We'd definitely get people's attention.
So, you guys know what you're here for, and I'm just gonna jump into it the way I know how to.
It would not actually have horse cum in it, don't worry.
While it would have probably been possible to fix the situation right here by making a public apology through a concise statement on Twitter, Blair would instead do the opposite, and play the victim card with a video on her main account, where most of her viewers didn't know or care about the drama. But they were now forced to marvel at her ramblings. After subsequent videos made by The Click and Wonderstruck in response, a month later Blair would take action by attempting to sue Ozmedia and sending a cease and desist to Wonderstruck. These lawsuits would only further harm her reputation by potentially having ethical and...
Yeah, that's the card that Phil pulls all the time. Or used to, anyway.
...legal ramifications. When threatening to...
Or he would at least say, let me not over-exaggerate, where he's like, if I had the money, I'd be suing, and he would literally say Tevin's a criminal.
To someone as a creator, there is usually little to no follow-through and nothing to really gain. You need to weigh the pros and cons. In a case like this, it would only lead to more people turning on you as the other party becomes a martyr to the rich creator that has the money to fund legal ruination. This would only get worse when it...
Do I have the... Yes, I have the boing.
Boing.
Well, that's the thing. Let's not get into Phil with how he hurts his own wallet.
Was later revealed of her involvement in the
Having-
finances and assets
And then he wonders why there's 200 to 400 people watching him at most.
of others. This included taking out loans under Oz's credits.
At the time, Blair had bad credit, so all of the purchases, loans, everything was being placed in my name.
Repossessing Wonderstruck's car and attempting to seize Oz Media's house.
What I can only describe as retaliation from the person who's my...
Whoa. What is up with this? Dude, this is what happens. The celebrity, which isn't even celebrity, I assure you, it's not. But people think it is, and it goes to their fucking heads.
My ex, former employer, and prior colleague, Blair is in the process of currently foreclosing my home.
Essentially trying to control the individual's livelihoods. Now, I'm not here to break apart these allegations, but rather to point out Blair's tendency to attack anyone who criticized her instead of just ignoring the criticism when it didn't have a direct consequence on her business. She was making a crazy amount of money and didn't need to do any of this. The culmination of these collective mistakes and controversies had devastating results for Blair's career. And this is apparent just by looking at her social blade. And as a person who's been fixated on YouTube analytics my entire life, these numbers show that she utterly destroyed her business. I mean, sure, most people will point out that she lost 170,000 subscribers in a month, but that happens all the time for creators who get canceled. But the viewership drop is what's unprecedentedly magnificent. Her views dropped 90% in a matter of...
Is unprecedentedly a word?
...of only 2 months, from 10 million in 30 days to only 1 million. And despite continuing to upload while ignoring the drama, they just keep on getting lower. 6 months in and she's now hovering at around 400k views in the past 30 days. This shows that her audience turned on her so badly that it triggered an effect in the current algorithm that just stopped her videos from ever being recommended again. Despite having decent editing, titles, and thumbnails, not a single one of her videos has cracked 100,000 views in the past 5 months. So what happened to make her cancellation so abrupt and permanent? Well, to start off, we need to understand that what made Blair so good at what she did was not her personality, or ability to make really good videos, but
because she was like a female Matthew Santoro. She didn't she even show her fucking face. She was just a female voice.
rather it was her aptitude at operations. Let me explain. When you think of a traditional YouTuber starting out, they will come up with a topic, write, film, edit, then upload the video all on their own. Maybe some will expand to having a writer and editor to help speed things up in the process, but past that point you start to become more and more of a manager than creator, causing most people to stop their expansion at this point. Or perhaps they have a business partner jump in to help if enough money is on the table. To consistently put out over an hour worth of heavily scripted and edited content each and every week requires Blair to have a massive team of people all working on different projects at the same time, so while one is being released, she has a few others already being worked on. Say what you will about her content, actions, or personality, but this is a very impressive feat as most people lack the skill set to stay organized and consistent enough to run an operation of this.
Well, that we know why we know why. Because she was plagiarizing.
Size. But there lies the problem. Illuminati wasn't content with just being a content farm with a host that had a minor cult of personality around herself. She wanted to be part of a community, going on podcasts and tweeting out her personal opinions when it didn't really matter in terms of her business. In fact, making oneself divisive when you're not running a channel where your opinion matters has no upside whatsoever. Sure, other creators such as Hassan Piker or Steven Crowder get a lot of hate, but they also have a loyal audience that will dig their heels in when they get pushback. Blair didn't have...
And their opinions always are generally one-sided. If you have one-sided opinions and don't stray, people will stick with you.
have that, which made her downfall all the more impressive. Content farms on YouTube survive on people being indifferent towards them, with the owners being hidden behind the scenes as they hire everything out. As we can learn here, when people actively hate the person running it, the algorithm appears to spit you out of all the recommended feeds. It really is an interesting phenomenon, since I've never seen another account experience the same fate as hers, and I see no way she can improve. The channel is genuinely screwed. So where should Blair go from here? Well, I think her dream of staying an online personality is done. But with her management skills of running a channel of this sort, there's clearly potential for her to either get a job working for another creator behind the scenes, or starting a new channel from scratch with a new host that the public doesn't know is related to her. I don't know if she's too prideful at this point to take either of these suggestions, but this controversial creator definitely has options to be some sort of operations manager. But then again, if she lived well below her...
But she's a bitch. Who would want to work with her?
...means and invested properly when she was making good money, she may just never have to work another day in her life. That being said, she is definitely going to have to stop her operation at some point, as the uploads she currently produces are almost certainly losing her money. Her average video is only getting 20k views, and I highly doubt the sponsors are anything more than affiliate links at this point. Because of this, the only saving grace that might allow her to possibly break even going forward are the 356 patrons that have stuck with her throughout all the drama. But with Blair not talking publicly anymore, we'll just have to wait and see what she decides to do next.
Interesting shit. What's going on with him? I'm not in the mood for another Turkey Tom video. What? She looks like this. Oh yeah, the Snapple lady. Yeah, I'm sure she wants the Zoom link to come on. All right, we could do a teeny tiny bit of Phil. The hate army, sure. 2 hours ago, sure.
The hate army troll.
It's the hate army, bro.
The hate army.
Shout
that
out
guy.
to hate.
Good vibes to the
Shout
hate
out to
army.
hate.
Shout out to
See, I fill in the void for Lolcow podcast. I bring Phil here.
Shout out to hate.
Shout out to hate.
Shout out for hate.
Why is... Alright. Why is YouTube like this? Interesting. An ad is about to play, but since I'm watching a new clip, I'm going to skip the ad because I want you guys to actually watch me react to this video. So here we go. Ready? Here we go.
YouTube like this.
In this video, I'm going to be building the world's largest toilet. I am going to be spending the next 50 hours locked inside of this corner potty. Last to leave the giant...
It's very simple. Here, I can end the video right now. If you don't do insane things, people won't tune in. In most cases. Or you have to do, like, I mean, like... I finished a video game. I always use him as an example. His channel blew up because he does like incredible. I don't even know. I have to pick his brain for the fear thing. Like 5-hour retrospectives. Those are like godsends. That's the kind of shit I want to kind of transform my channel into. But those will get views because people they tune into him a lot of times. They'll fall asleep to him. They'll watch him over and over again. So it's that you're either doing that, which is intense, or you're doing this. Even if you make good content, a lot of times it doesn't matter.
giant toilet win 10,000 tolerate.
And by this, I mean overly sensationalized, insanely over the top, highly edited, and fake.
My crazy ex-girlfriend has ruined my life.
I'm going to fake being
Yeah, it's also naive, dumbass kids, too.
pregnant with this belly.
I'm gonna fake my own death. I spent over 100...
Jesus Christ. I shot myself in the face. Someone that... It's sad to laugh, but Darwinism. Someone for a YouTube video, they had a gun, and they had a super thick book. Needless to say, they did it for a video. The book didn't block the bullet, and yeah. Welcome on how to get views in YouTube in 2023.
$100,000 this week to have 100 of these girls here.
I mean, is it just me, or does most content on this platform feel dystopian, artificial, and
yes,
soulless? What was at one time a place to post fun videos with your friends is now a place for corporations to market their brand, people to generate passive income.
Oh no, we know what's coming with Phil.
And creators to do, well, whatever this is. And this isn't all bad, but if I'm being honest, the worst parts about all of these things really stand out and create a nauseating experience for the average user. But something recently has changed, and maybe you've noticed it too. Authenticity on YouTube is rising again. Now, instead of clicking the overly sensational videos, I find myself clicking videos that are more simple, intimate, and honestly, more human. But why? Is the Mr. Beastification of YouTube over? How did we get here? Why is this
No, it's gonna get worse
happening? And what the heck is core? Social media has adjusted.
So
why is this guy sitting in like a science classroom in high school on a green screen?
Oh, it's not a long video. I think we should watch it. And I've been saying this for years and years, and I literally saw this happen organically over the years. I told you guys when I started on YouTube in 2008, this site
oh no,
was essentially people who didn't have high production, meaning not a lot of money to put into a video, not a giant group of people working on the video, not a studio to film it. It was people who had passion, talent, and or something to offer, maybe knowledge.
I guess talent is subjective, but Phil, we've seen you act. What got you somewhere at the time, not to be a dick, is you were the only person doing it.
To the internet.
Knowledge. What knowledge did you have, Phil? You can't even put an SSD in your PlayStation 5.
And people recognize that. And they recognize
he had May 1st knowledge
that as being genuinely either funny, informative, whatever it was, and they were rewarded for that. And what I saw systematically over the years happen is that content has gone away. What's happened is YouTube became a place where only if you went into it with the mentality of I'm here to make money, I go into it with a big budget, I go into it with the know-how of a bunch of video editors and a bunch of filmmakers and all of this professional grade studio scripted stuff, nothing genuine, all scripted, all fake, it's basically like television light or Hollywood light, right? That's what it became. And it was sad because at one point, you know, anyone could just enjoy what they were doing and make a living on YouTube. And it completely flipped on its head and changed over the years, where people who had the talent, the passion, were completely overlooked, and the YouTube algorithm would only support those who were in it for the big bucks. And you saw the small-time content creator go away. And instead it became the face that you see on every fucking thumbnail. Now on every fucking thumbnail, even worse. Always pushed to the top of the algorithm. The edited content, the clickbait title. You go to the video, it's completely faked. It's completely staged. It's all nonsense. Everyone is a character, right? No one is...
Yeah, Phil, you're right to a degree, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't have evolved. It doesn't mean because you are essentially in most ways doing the same thing you were doing in 2009 that's genuine.
Is a real person anymore. All the top YouTubers are all characters that are portrayed for a camera. That's not representative of the real person. And if you think it is the real person...
Dark Side Coco donated $15. One for me, one for my Philip Burnell, 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 one for me, one for my Phil.
Phil what?
Person, you're fooling yourself, right? Take a look at the top people doing this. They're all fakes. And that's sad. It didn't used to be like that.
Yeah, 99% of cases. Now you're right again, Phil. They push the most corporate-friendly people to the top. There's exceptions, like MKBHD. He started like every other YouTuber. And I still think he's genuine to his craft. But you're right.
It used to be YouTube. You broadcast yourself. It's your own way to have your own television channel. Now it's the place where people with the most money go to invest more money into making a cycle of endless content that people digest that makes more money. That's it. That's all it is. So let's see what he has to say about it.
Unfortunately, it's also kind of ties into talking about games again, like digital distribution. It's also human nature. The more sensational something is, the more chance someone will tune in. That's why fucking reality shows are all over regular TV.
Concept of reality since its inception.
So it's kind of human nature's fault as well.
This is nothing new. Take, for example, Instagram and edited photos. I still remember when Instagram hit the mainstream and everyone started adding filters to their photos. There has always been a level of fakeness to social media since the beginning, but at what point is it too much? Many celebrities, including the Kardashians, for example, have been criticized in the past for highly editing their photos in magazines or on social media, but many creators on YouTube do this too. In fact, the most popular creator on the platform has mastered this.
Yep.
Mr. Beast, the grandmaster of grabbing your attention, has a knack for crafting thumbnails that make your eyeballs pop out of
Jesus Christ, 122 million views on a video
of your head. His expression has become so iconic, it's been replicated across the platform. Mr. Beast has a whole team designed to edit his pictures to make the most enticing thumbnail possible. Editing faces, editing backgrounds, sometimes completely warping reality. And I'm not criticizing Mr. Beast, I get it. We've all done it. I've done it. I'm just here to point out the irony. We were so...
yeah, I've never done it. I never did that. A few people make thumbnails for me, but it's usually the real me in a thumbnail.
I'm sure they're going to show evidence of him actually doing that.
Or art. Yeah, I have art.
Yeah, but it's younger people that are the most enthusiastic on this platform, Floppy.
That I run on my pre-stream, it's obviously a joke. I don't have to.
But then I always wonder, I mean, look, I'm sure there's people crunching numbers behind the scenes that think about this stuff, but like, you know, if it's a 10-year-old sees a Lexus commercial, they're probably not going to buy it.
To
whatever
who I am
to be successful. I could just be me.
What's up, Todd
People
Provolone?
sadly have to create fake personas, fake existence, right? I mean, hell. I mean, again, now I'm not slighting the guy, but take a look at Dr. Disrespect. That's literally not the man. That's a cartoon character he created, and that's when he got popular.
Yeah, but so what, Phil? That's a little bit different. Putting on a shtick or like improv. Actors been doing it forever.
He was literally not popular at all until he became a cartoon character. And now he's incredibly popular. Sometimes being fake is the only way you can get yourself over.
Quick to criticize people for editing their acne out of photos 15 years ago, but now it's pretty much the norm. And it's not just with the thumbnails that seem over the top, it's with the videos themselves too.
Yeah, they're all fake.
I paid an assassin to try and kill me. I spend 50 hours buried alive. What's next? I ate only gas station food for 30 days? Crazy. All of these topics are interesting, no doubt. But then...
No, they're not. Not at all.
Yeah, to a 15-year-old they are, though. And that's the most... They are extremely active.
These are not entertaining at all. They're not interesting.
Like our age has the common sense to know, yeah, it's not real. Like, duh. Or it's going to be something stupid, or it's something unreal. Like, I think I saw one Mr. Beast video where they went to, like, in some insane restaurant.
They're not entertaining. They're trash. They're literal trash. It's trash, lowbrow content for someone who literally does not want to use their brain today. All I want to do is sit here and watch garbage.
Phantom.
It's the same as watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It's the same as watching TMZ all day.
Yeah, it's the popular shit, and it's inoffensive, and advertisers love it.
It's zero intelligent thought required. It's just mind-numbing nonsense. And this is what YouTube has become over the past 15 years.
People try to duplicate these videos, and that's the problem. There is too much of all of this.
Wow.
The Mr. Beastification of YouTube, as others have called it, has consumed this platform and the entire internet. YouTube, TikTok, and anywhere you consume video. Now videos are designed to capture your attention in a few seconds. TikTok and YouTube Shorts, less than a second. It's insane. And while many of these videos are high quality,
Why is he in a subway? That's a subway. I recognize it.
Yeah, it looks like a Subway near my house. I mean, obviously they're franchises, but
He's in a Subway sandwich location before they renovated it. That's what it used to look like. That's pretty funny.
Some that are not. If we're talking about video content feeling soulless, we have to talk about AI.
ReviewTechUSA agrees with Phil on most of this here.
Hi, I'm an attractive AI designed to grab your attention.
AI videos have to be the most surreal, inauthentic stuff ever.
This sack guy sucks. I am real and authentic.
And it's only gonna get worse as the technology gets better.
We've all seen the videos where there's an AI narrating over a movie, or there's these really lazy explainer videos with a Sharpie and whiteboard design.
Yeah, well, that's the irony of Phil. You've kind of nailed it on the head, is that Renton, that Phil's content is mind-numbing for another reason, whereas if he's not begging, he's, well, doing nothing.
I know there's people speculating that AI will replace creators, and to me that's just not true. Maybe if you're in a low effort niche, but as a viewer, I'm not replacing my favorite creators with AI. Yes, AI will get better. Yes, AI will be used to help creators like create cool images, VTuber setups, and even help with scripts. But time and time again, psychology has found humans like humans. We want to interact with each other. But now with the rise of AI and the rise of over-sensationalism, videos are often no longer about creativity and more about getting you hooked. I mean, seriously, everything is fully optimized all the time. From the concept to the editing, it often feels...
Yeah, Mr. Beast has talked about this, how it's like he's like surgically...
so inorganic. I mean, even what I do here.
Like everything is mathematically done to make sure each video gets as many views as possible. How the fuck do you compete with that? And then what he does in the videos is insane amounts of money. How the fuck do you compete with that? You can't.
These videos are clearly highly edited. Believe it or not, I do not live in a white box. But I try to make things as authentic as possible. I try to open up about my own experiences.
There's a difference between editing something for effect. Like, for example, by doing this the way he's doing it, he can show you all the examples of what he's referencing behind him, and it's pertinent and it adds to the content of the video in a concise way. It allows him to make this video in 10 minutes. If he was sitting here like I do and he had to show all these examples...
I'm guessing you're enjoying that game, Dr. Sexy Coco?
Manually, this video would be 30 minutes long. Because he's editing it to have a green screen background, he can do a 10-minute video that expresses the same exact notions and ideas in a concise way. That's different than making a completely fabricated fake video with high editing. You see what it's a very different thing between the two.
And my life, even if it hurts my retention. Same thing with my...
You notice it's like bright colors, the person's like really vibrant and like their eyes are popping. It's all about, yeah.
Thumbnails, they're pretty straightforward. But
okay, those thumbnails do suck. That I will admit. Those are not, like, this is text. You know, those thumbnails kind of suck. That I will admit.
I'm often conflicted. I want to stay true to myself, but I want more people to see my content, so there is that balance. But as I mentioned earlier, all of this actually might be changing, and now I'm caring less and less about over-sensationalism and more about just being myself. I first noticed this when my Why YouTube Feels Different video went viral. I had tons of people duplicate my thumbnail, and many people failed to capture the same.
That's funny, they copied his thumbnail? They copied that fucking thumbnail? What?
Yeah, text thumbnails don't work out well.
Okay.
The screens are bizarre.
Hey, they copied that thumbnail. Great.
Effect. That video didn't go viral because of the black text and red circle. The video went viral because I found a way to directly communicate with potential viewers. People got the video recommended to them and wondered, why is this video here? And how did he know? Well, I was banking on the fact that with my findings about YouTube recommending smaller creators, that I could fill the gap. I bet and I won. And by creating an authentic relationship with a simple, straight-to-the-point concept, it worked. People clicked on the video, and the rest is history. Nothing was over-sensationalized because it didn't need to be. On October 11th, Jay Alto, another...
Damn, that's amazing. 3.2 million views, and you only get $1,000. YouTube has changed, man. YouTube has changed. I think I'm calling it quits now. Yeah. That's absolutely insane. Sell me your channel. Yeah, how much till 5 a.m.? Yeah, no thank you. All right, guys. Have a great evening. And I will see you tomorrow with more content. I mean, basically it's Phil. This is kind of a boring Phil video too, to be quite frank with you. All right, guys, have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow with content. Have a good one.